This episode of the We Like Shooting Show is brought to you by Swamp Fox Optics, Second Call Defense, Black Rhino Concealment, Hackett Equipment, Franklin Armory, Medical Gear Outfitters, and Brownells.
Welcome to the We Like Shooting Show, episode 366. Tonight we're going to talk about Noble Knife Design, Sutures, Black Color Arms, PPK-20, White Label Armory, and more. Our panel tonight is the usual. From River's Edge Tactical, we got Jerambe Pozderac. Savage 1R will be here later. The Machine Gun Moses Aaron Krieger's here. Nick Lynch is at his home, we believe. We're not sure at this point. My name's Shawn, and I just want to welcome you all to the show. I think he stopped it, actually. Aaron.
I can't even tell anymore.
Eric D says, September 15th, no more masks. Please spread the word.
I don't believe that.
Adam W says, what is growing on Sean's face?
Leprosy.
No, it's a beard. Okay, maybe it's leprosy. I don't really know at this point.
Is it a beard, though? Is it really?
I mean, ish. It's okay. There's only one person that has a worse beard than me on the show, and that's Savage. And he's not here, so I don't really know. Is that what we were talking about? Aaron, how are you?
Good. I am at home, and I don't know what we're talking about. I'm sorry. I was reading something, and then I got sidetracked. Yeah, great show, guys. Great to be here. Joel, can't wait to start getting into this whole thing with you.
Aaron, focus.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Well, let me do an ad read real quick since Aaron's idiot.
Well, did you ask me a question? Hey, Shawn.
What?
That song right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
that
well,
song.
If you were paying attention, I would share it. Otherwise, forget about it.
See, that's the thing is, like, last week you're like, just remind me. And I did. And you're like, what are you talking about?
I was in Texas.
Yeah, but you're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, this song. And you're like, no, just a ghost. I actually saw a sagebrush roll across my screen.
See, that means I sent it to you. Real quick, Swamp Fox Optics is kind of the first one I want to talk about. So I've been carrying the Sentinel, which is their RMSC cut red dot. And I don't know what my camera's doing, so no one mentioned it because it's freaking me out. That is actually very awesome. But the Liberty and Justice, they'll have the iron sides armor very soon. Right now it's available for the Liberty, but very soon I believe it'll be ready for the Justice and the Sentinel as well. So $45. And
can you buy it as one unit?
Yes, I believe that you can. Maybe not. You can add it to the same shopping cart and check out all at the same time. But I love this stuff. We're going to be doing a torture test very, very soon on a special gun that you guys won't want to miss. But Swamp Fox Optics, 21% off. Use coupon code WLS is life at swampfoxoptics.com.
Wait.
And it will save you money.
WLS
is life.
You said US.
WLS is life. Are you on a mission tonight?
No, you said WUS. You misspoke. I was correcting you.
Oh.
I'm on a mission to get things right.
Okay, good.
I'm like,
yes.
What's WUS? What's his life?
Yeah. WLS is life. Thank you for the correction.
Uh-huh. You're welcome.
All right. Our guest tonight is the co-creator, CEO of White Label Armory, and his name is Joel Edwards. Joel, welcome to the show.
I appreciate it.
Studio audience is excited that you're here. Joel, tell us, what is White Label Armory?
So White Label Armory is actually sort of a sister company of a larger company called DRG Manufacturing. DRG is a pretty sizable OEM manufacturer for the firearms industry. We do uppers, lowers, handguards, bolt carrier groups, and pretty much every component of those, muzzle brakes, pretty much everything AR-15 related. If it's not a piece of stamped metal or a spring, we manufacture it for somebody. I think we hold more variances than anybody else in the industry is for AR-15 lower receivers. So we make a ton of lower receivers. White Label Armory is something me and Randy started about a year and a half ago. We came to DRG with a concept of this to allow the smaller dealers and manufacturers access to the larger manufacturers' pricing, basically. So most manufacturers, when they're subcontracting out work, they're ordering 10,000 pieces every 6 months, something like that. And you get really good pricing like that. The smaller guys who are fighting to get in the business and they want to buy 25 at a time, they're paying a ton more. And so they're just not able to be competitive. So what we do is I siphon off product from DRG every month and get it out to our dealers and smaller manufacturers. And then we also have a retail side for the retail customer, for the end user to get access to that stuff too. So it's all 100% American-made products, pretty much all AR related at this point. But we back everything 100%, and we just try and give people a good deal on a solid product. Most of it's your basic bread and butter parts that everybody needs when they're building an AR.
Very cool. It just so turns out that I need a variance for some lowers.
Yeah, sure you do.
All right, I will definitely. How'd you get into this? Like, what? Tell us a little bit about your background.
I was a cop for a long time, straight out of college. Started with the police department in Charleston, South Carolina.
Hold on.
Worked there.
Sorry, I just got word that they're now protesting this show.
All right, good.
No, sorry.
That'll increase your viewership, actually.
Exactly. Okay, I apologize for interrupting for a stupid joke.
I was a cop for a long time, got into the firearm side of it, became one of the lead instructors there for several years, started their patrol rifle program. And that's where I'd been into ARs for a little bit, but once I got into teaching patrol rifle and writing the lessons and everything, really got into the mechanics and the fundamentals of the AR, and I'm just really interested in it. Got a FFL, became pretty good at doing custom AK builds, even though I'm an AR guy. My secret thing is I'm truly an AK guy.
So you have like that trunnion press thing?
Oh yeah. I got all the tools. I got like 20 receivers sitting here next to me. I can't get enough AK stuff.
Nice.
But after a while, I figured I didn't really want to be a cop anymore. It's not a real popular job, and there's really no money in it. And my interest was moving more towards the OE production. So I enjoy the manufacturing side. I enjoy the supply side, learning the ins and outs of the industry, and just made a lot of friends over the years, made a lot of really good business partners, a couple of bad ones. And so now I'm actually doing what I really like, which is working with dealers and small manufacturers on a daily basis.
Very cool.
So what? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Shawn.
I said very cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It really is.
So one of the, I want to say one of your pillars, one of the cornerstones of White Labels, what I remember, is your bolt carrier groups.
Yeah, the ones that are all out of stock, right?
Not to sound horrible, but I don't think they've ever been in stock because they're really cool looking. You've got the chameleon, you've got the you've got FD flat dark earth, you've got all these different colors and styles, which are like definitely things that people want, and I can see how it's hard to keep in stock.
Yeah, I sold 800 a day, and I think that took about 3 minutes. So that's kind of where we're at in the industry right now. But yeah, no, our BCGs are really, I mean, it's the heart of the rifle. It's the heart of our business. It's really where DRG got it started, was with the BCGs. I think we make a fantastic BCG. We put a lot of work into it. We do a lot of things that other manufacturers don't. We actually grind them to meet the dimensional specs on them. Everyone's QC'd. We got some really interesting processes for manufacturing too that other people aren't running. And we doubled our production starting about 2 weeks ago. So we should see stock on the shelves in about 3 or 4 weeks once it makes it through the process. So We're really excited about that. So
crazy. So doing OEM stuff, that's the parent company.
Correct.
People don't realize that companies like that do OEM, they make a lot of stuff for a lot of people that kind of package it as their own, right? Is that how that works?
That's absolutely how it works. I think people have a very big misconception that gun companies make everything in-house. And in reality, they don't. I mean, some don't even assemble their own rifles. It's all done out of house. We make... It's one of those things I hate to hide behind an NDA, but unfortunately I have to.
Right.
I'd love to tell you like all the badass companies that we're manufacturing stuff for and the cool stuff that we're doing. There are some video tours of our place out there on YouTube if you look for them. And if you look real close, you can see some really cool stuff in the background that somehow made it onto the video. But yeah, no, it's fun being involved with a lot of the so-called big companies. And then once you get to know them, you realize that really they're no bigger than you. They're just, it's marketing and it's branding and it's they spend a lot of time and a lot of money to build up what they are. And a lot of them have fantastic QC. There's one major company who people on Reddit and AR15.com won't shut up about how great they are. I've been to their facility. They literally don't have a CNC machine in the entire facility.
Oh,
but they've got great QC, and they check every part that comes in, and that's why they have such a good reputation. So you don't have to make everything. There's people like us that'll make it for you.
Now, do people come to you with designs, or do you guys come up with parts and specs?
They do. Okay. Yeah, no, they do. We're not a design house. We don't have the artistic designers on staff, where it's all engineers in our house. So they come to us with prints and solid models, and we say, yeah, we can make it, or no, that's not a project
I love Purple
for us.
Rain.
No, PRINTS, not PRINCE.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
Dove's Cry is, I think, my best one.
Yeah. No.
Yes, I think so.
But so we make some very artistic, I would say, lower receivers, and for a company, and we do it really well, and I think we do it better than anybody else out there right now.
That's hilarious, because I'm looking at your website right now, and I just saw some very artistic receivers listed on the website.
He's okay with it. I just can't say that out loud.
Okay, yeah.
So, but it has to do. It sounds like Pointy Brothers.
Hey, he can't say it out loud.
I didn't.
People can go to the website. It's very easy to figure out what he may be talking about. Possibly, perhaps, I don't really know. No, but that is pretty cool. So they give you your specs, and then you kind of how do you prioritize? Clearly people are coming to you and they're they want themselves to be the number one most important client. But if they're super tiny like that, how do you prioritize how to make parts for whatever variants you have?
How big of a purchase order did you give me? I mean, it's kind of what it comes down to. We run two different levels, really. So we run the full-on custom stuff where we do make receivers for other manufacturers to their print and to their specs. And then we have basically a house brand receiver set, upper and lower, in AR9, AR10, and AR15, both regular and ambi. And what that is we just crank those things out constantly. That machine never stops spitting out receivers. And as soon as it comes off the machine and goes through QC and tumbling, it goes on a laser. And there's just a list of manufacturers whose markings I'm putting on it, markings and logo I'm lasering on that thing. And we just work through it. And everybody seems pretty happy. It kind of sucks right now. We're at a 2 to 3 month lead time rather than a 6-week lead time where we used to be. But that's the nature of where we're at right now.
Yeah, for sure. Things are so crazy these days. It's absolute. Just I can only imagine. You said 2 weeks ago you guys doubled your output.
Yeah. We dumped a ton of machinery on the floor in the last 2 months, really. Basically, I mean, we saw this coming, not the COVID part, not the riot part, but I mean, we're spinning up into election year. We do this every 4 years. If you've been in the business long enough, you've seen this up and down. We know that there's justification for doubling the machinery that we've got. The product's going to move. So, but it's going to take you 8 weeks once you got the machinery on the floor to see everything make it through all the processes. Because you figure when we make a bolt carrier group, we make the carrier, but then the carrier's got to go to heat treat, and the carrier's got to go to blast. And then the carrier's got to go to grinding, and then the carrier's got to go to nitride or PVD or whatever it is that it comes back before it finally makes it back to us to assemble and ship out. So we'll be seeing that in 2 to 3 weeks. I think we'll finally start seeing the result of all that investment.
Dang.
Which is great because my dealers will be happy again, and maybe we'll start having some supplies on the site that we can pick up some more retail customers here and there.
Yeah, no kidding. So how do you kind of figure that out? Because you do a lot of white label stuff.
So right now, our dealer and manufacturer level bounces between 95 and 98% of my sales.
Okay.
So my retail customers only 2 to 5% of my sales. I would like to increase that. I think we've been doing a really good job at building a name. Quality is our big thing. And now we're getting into some marketing and getting us out there as a name. Rainier Arms carries us now. Big Daddy Unlimited. We do all their Big Daddy Unlimited parts by White Label Armory. A couple other decent ones of Aim Surplus carries us. So a couple of really nice companies have started carrying us as a brand. to try and start reaching out. But still, again, I'm supporting Aim Surplus and I'm supporting Rainier Arms, and the end user is the end user, and that's great. If we stay at 5% of our business is the consumer, that's absolutely fine with me. We really support our dealers and our manufacturers more than anything.
Speaking of dealers and manufacturers, some of the things that you sell are these builder kits.
Yeah.
Who is that catered to, or what's your target audience with those things? Because those aren't cheap. I mean, you're looking at
no. My target audience is actually the home builder who doesn't have the tooling to put the upper together. Because I mean, if you look at it with a paper clip and maybe a pair of pliers, you can put a lower receiver together. It's not that difficult. The upper is the thing that gives everybody problems. So that home builder kit is literally everything but the lower receiver. Go buy our lower receiver or somebody else's lower receiver, whatever, and snap the rest of the kit together, and you got a really nice rifle. It seems expensive, but when you get one in your hands, you'll see why it's a little bit more than Palmetto State Armory or one of these other cheaper brands. But they end up getting purchased up by other manufacturers who literally just, that becomes their rifle on their receiver.
Gotcha.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
With, I don't know, just with like COVID and then the election, even doubling your capacity, you're still going to be kind of under the gun, right? Or behind.
We could triple it, and I'd be fine selling that product for the next 18 months at least. Yeah, we're screwed on this one. If you guys lived through 2008, we went through this. Ammo ran out, parts ran out. 2012, we went through this. Ammo ran out, BCGs ran out. 2016, we went through this. Same thing. The only problem now is it's not going to end as quick. We are not going to recover as nearly as quickly as we did in the last 3 times.
I know.
I wouldn't say after Sandy Hook we recovered quickly. It took 2 or 3 years.
It took over a year. Yeah. No, we're for 4 years on this one.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while.
It's going to be nuts. We're going to have to start just reviewing guns without actually shooting them or something. It's nuts. Aaron, you made me lose my train of thought.
It's going to be like the Colt Museum. You're going to be white gloving, Palmetto State Armory AR-15s out of the case at some point.
Exactly. Oh wait, I know what I was going to say. How many of the parts do you guys make in house? Because you're OEM for a ton of other people, but like what? Or maybe if it's easier, like what don't you actually make?
So stamped parts we don't make. So your ejection port covers, your basic end plates, buffer tubes, I outsource. Buffers I actually outsource. Any spring, if there's an AR manufacturer who tells you he's making all his springs, he's lying to you. Spring companies make springs. You leave it to the professionals to do that stuff. Lower parts kits, we are now making all of the small turn parts. We're making bolt catches, selectors, hammers, and triggers. I'm still outsourcing those. Pretty much everything else, though, we make in-house. So your barrels, your flash hiders, your hand guards, upper, lower, obviously the whole BCG, gas blocks, gas tubes I buy. We're not a tubing company. And then anything plastic, I don't get into injection molding, so we sub that stuff out too.
Thanks.
But I mean, all your core parts we actually make in the building.
Very nice. What about titanium? Are you guys making that stuff, or are you farming that out?
Yeah, so I farm the titanium out just because it's low volume and high on mill time.
Yeah. So
it's not worth taking one of our mills down to cut that. So I've got a very good partner who's been cutting titanium for me for a long time and is very good at it. He cuts some end plates and some castle nuts and stuff like that for me.
Are there any plans to expand the titanium line? Because your prices are awesome.
Well, I appreciate that. I wish everybody else realized that. The titanium is probably like my weakest mover right now for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe we're not pushing it right, but I would love to make more titanium parts if I can just justify it by selling what I got sitting on the floor right now. Yeah. Maybe I blasted it. It's got a nice matte finish. I like it. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah,
I just got bad taste and I should have polished it.
I mean, the polish definitely looks good, but I want it for performance and, I guess like such small amounts of weight. But I just like titanium parts, honestly.
Yeah, I guess my theory is, if I've got a firearm and it's got shiny titanium parts, I'm not looking to blind my enemy, so...
You're just trying to dazzle him a little bit.
Exactly. Give him the old razzle-dazzle.
Right. Wow, that's really bang. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
What What about raw materials, right? Like you guys are kind of through the roof on manufacturing. Have you seen problems with raw materials?
So in the past, the last couple times we went through this, I definitely saw in other companies I was with and that I worked with where guys, you can't get your hands on 4150 to make a barrel. So they're kind of scrapping for whatever barrel material they can get in, and you end up with some really bad barrels because of that. We've got a crazy relationship with our steel supplier, and we basically just pre-buy stuff, stick it on his floor, and he trucks it to us when we need it. So we're good for a couple years of this based on that. So, I mean, he sends me a really nice bottle of Willet on a pretty regular occasion. So
Nice.
we must be doing pretty good with him.
Very cool. What's the most difficult part to manufacture that you guys do? As far as just all around.
The most difficult one, the one that requires probably the most checking and the most work into, is probably the bolt. It's a small piece. It's got very tight tolerances. It's got to be heat treated right, or you're going to have problems. You've got to be ground properly, or you're going to have headspace and fitment issues. So that's probably the most difficult part to do. We've gotten really good at it in the last year. We're spitting out about 50,000 of them a month right now.
Jeez.
We make them on both lathes and mills. We've got two different processes set up. We've got one entire robotically fed line that just runs 24/7, basically, making
Skynet?
those things.
It's Skynet.
I'm a little worried that if it is Skynet, that it's going to start hucking bolts at us.
So with the BCG, man, that gets a lot of wear and tear, and you're making these super pretty ones. How well do they hold up?
They hold up pretty well. So when you get into the PVD coatings, some are better than the others, and some, I mean, you just have to accept that they're decorative. Your titanium nitride, that's a fantastic coating. That's why tool makers coat in mills and everything else with it. It's super hard. It's super durable. That's sort of my pick if I'm going to go with a PVD coating for longevity. When you get into the blue is really a decorative. It will wear. It's not as hard as the titanium. It's not as thick. So the blues will wear over time, especially on the rails. But they'll maintain their luster in the rest of the places. When you get down to it, what's going to last longest? Nitride. Nitride's always going to last longest for you and give you more protection. But the PVDs, I mean, they work really well. The flat dark earth is a good coating, and then the Nivex, you can't go wrong with the nickel boron. That stuff stays. It doesn't wear off. And we use UTC coatings for all of our nickel boron, so they. As probably one of the top two coaters in the nation.
Dang. Pretty nice.
When we have them in stock.
Right. Like, I'm looking at your website, and I'm really, it's like Waldo. Like, find the thing that's in stock.
Oh, yeah. I know.
I actually wrote down, I was like, so what is in stock right now?
Lower parts kits. I got a couple low parts kits in there really quick. They're going to be gone tomorrow.
Well, that's funny. I have some lower parts kits here, but I don't have anything to put them on.
Right.
Okay, I got receivers coming. I think they came back from anodized today, so maybe receivers next week. I don't know. We'll see.
It's so crazy. I saw that you guys had a range kit. This is a while back. Tell us about that. And then,
so I actually like that one.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite lower parts kit we have. So I taught patrol rifle for years. And, as you're teaching students, guns break all the time. You got these super high round count guns. Some of our guns were these DRMO turn-ins that were M16s from the late 60s, early 70s. And so you really learn what's going to break on an AR and what's going to go wrong and what's going to cause you to have to stop the class, go fix a guy's gun to get it back up and running. In this kit is literally pretty much everything that breaks while you're at the range and screws you up for the day. So... And there's everything from a quick fix of taking out the BCG and just throwing in the new BCG in the kit to extractors that wear out, gas rings that wear out, disconnects that wear out, and you start getting double taps or something like that. So literally
That's
everything.
A bad thing?
It depends on who's around, I guess. But literally almost everything that could go wrong at the range, you can fix with this kit and a punch. So that's why I like it. And I think it's a pretty good deal. Considering you get a full Carpenter 158 BCG in there, as well as all the little tiny parts that add up.
Yeah, that was actually my next point. So $275 is what that costs on the website. Yeah. Not in stock right this second, but
it will be Friday.
Okay, very cool. So I think if you took the BCG out, it would drop the price considerably. Have you guys thought about that, or?
Sort of. We're sort of. I can't add too many SKUs at this point until just because supplies are a little tight. But I do have a little box somewhere in the house that I found that's essentially that same thing, just minus the BCG.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's awesome because stuff does fail, and having like this kit that we could just throw in our range bag or camera bag, whatever, would be amazing.
And nobody's got just one AR, so you're going to use all the parts eventually anyway. So you might as well pick it up.
Right.
But that's what it's for. It's to throw in your truck, throw in your range bag. We've got the bigger kits for the departments and the gunsmiths, but that one was geared to the individual.
Yeah, I saw like the master parts kit. That's like a lot of everything.
Yeah, that was intended for the gunsmith, for the gun store to keep behind the counter, for the guy that comes in and is like, hey, I lost my D10. I don't want to order one. Could you guys have one? So that's what that was intended for.
Because that's what I do now is like I'll lose a D10 or something.
Right.
And if I don't have a spare, which I generally do have spares, I'll go to order them, but it's like $10 shipping. So I'm like, well, I better order 17 of them.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, there's no reason not to order in bulk.
Yeah.
At that point. Why buy one when you can get, 2 for twice the price?
Totally agree.
But so I think next week we've got actually one coming out called the Home Builders Kit, which is that master range kit cut in half.
Oh, nice.
So that's for the dedicated home builder who just always wants to have spare parts around.
Makes a ton of sense. What's your favorite product that you guys make?
Well, I really like our handguards. I think our handguards are kind of one of the unknown deals out there. When you get into handguards, it's all about machine time on them. So your general handguard at this price level that we've got, they're just running a straight extrusion. They're not facing all the surfaces or leaving it as it was extruded from the basic raw material. They don't chamfer any of their edges, so you got a lot of sharp edges. Their anodizing isn't really that good. We put a lot of machine time into these things, especially for the price that they're at. Every little cutout there has a chamfer around it, so there's not a sharp edge on these things. They get tumbled. They've got the anti-rotation tabs on the side that fit even a lot of billet uppers. The barrel nut there, the screws actually go through the barrel nut, so even in the case that those screws come loose for whatever reason, the handguard's not going to come off the gun. It's not going to move forward. It's not going to twist side to side. So that's obviously a good thing. A lot of these designs with the screw clamp attachment method, if that screw comes loose, it'll start working its way forward or start rotating. These are just there's a lot of machine time and a lot of thought put into these handguards. And like I said, for the price, I think they're a little undervalued.
Yeah, I actually had an opportunity to handle a bunch of those handguards, and I really I approve. But if my opinion counts for anything, I
appreciate that.
them.
Yeah. I've got a couple here at the house. They seem to work quite well. I'm very happy with them.
And the price is definitely good. 15-inch for $139.95.
Yeah,
if it was in stock.
Right, if it was in stock. Yeah, so I've literally got cases of them sitting on the floor. I'm waiting on one component. It should be here hopefully tomorrow.
That's awesome.
We'll get them back in. Again, and that's another thing that we've upped the capacity on, that I'm just waiting for everything to come through the process. So we've got three machines that are running handguards right now, and they just run constantly now. So it's like I'm at the cusp of having stuff in stock.
So exciting.
4 months ago, when nobody knew who we were, or 6 months ago when nobody knew who we were and nobody was really afraid of anything, I'm thinking, how can I get creative and move all this stock? And now I'm like, how can I get more stock?
Exactly. Dude, it's like unprecedented, man.
Oh God. If I'd have had the wherewithal in December to just like mortgage my range, get $500,000 worth of ammo and ARs and pistols, I'd have paid the building off twice.
Yeah. It's insane. We've got a couple local shops we deal with really well just because they're local and they're friends, and we make sure they keep them supplied. And I go up there every once in a while. The poor guys' shelves are bare. I feel bad for them. mean, at some point you got to make money.
Yeah. Jerambe, how many guns do you have on your shelves right now?
Right now I have, for sale, maybe 10.
And generally when you're fully stocked, how many for sale?
40 or so.
And I
50?
got to say, like, what was it last week that I think you had one for sale?
No, it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
At one point, the only thing I had for sale in the whole shop was a Dan Wesson revolver.
That's right.
It was a Dan Wesson 715T on consignment.
Consignment too, yeah. So you don't make a whole lot off that.
I upped my consignment fee because it wasn't worth it anymore to do 10%.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, a couple months more like this, I may start pulling guns out of the safe and breaking my own don't sell a gun rule.
I told you this story, Shawn. So I have a Brownells BRN 180 with a SB Tactical triangle brace on it.
Yep.
And this dude walked in, and I'm at my desk. Like, I don't even know this guy's out there. All I hear is Marco's a kid that works for me. He goes, I'll ask him. And he comes walking in my office, and he goes, there's a guy out here that just offered to buy your brace for double. I'm like, what do you mean double? He goes, like, twice what you paid for it. The guy's offering $400 for your brace. I'm like, yeah, you sell that. You sell that right now. I'll get a new brace.
You might have to wait 3 years, but you'll get it.
Exactly.
Nope, already ordered one.
Did you really?
Yeah, managed to find one in stock. It's shipped.
Well, the funny part about this, Joel, is that, I don't know, like a week before, one of our listeners mentioned that he had one, and Jeremy was like, I'll take it. And I was like, I actually really need one. And then I try to be a mensch. Yeah, you totally did. You totally did me a solid and had the dude send it to me instead. And a week later, the dude bought Jeremy's for $400, and Jeremy didn't have one.
Yeah, I got a stash of SBA 3s at the shop that I'm hoarding because I need it. Well, I need them for Leviathan's builds that we do for them, and then also I don't want to get rid of them.
Yeah,
not SBA 3s.
Well,
SBA 3s are a dime a dozen.
He likes the 1913. No, they're not. Like I just tried to.
Yeah, they're not.
No. Compared to the 19.
Oh
yeah,
Yeah. The SBA 3s are my favorite.
I got a stack of SBA 4s sitting at the shop.
Yeah, I don't like those.
Dude, they're way better than the 3s.
Functionally, yes. Aesthetically, no.
No, you're wrong.
I'm with Shawn on this one.
See? Yeah.
Ow! No, you're wrong. You're an idiot and you're wrong.
So, Joel, you guys make AR-15 stuff, AR-10 stuff, AR-9 stuff, and then I'm pretty sure I saw some parts for like 40 millimeter carbines and 45 maybe.
Yeah. So we carry the bolts for the 40 and the 45. That's actually something we don't make. A very, very close friend of ours makes those for us. But if you take a really close look at all of our 9 millimeter and pistol caliber bolts, you'll see that they look exactly like one that costs like twice as much. So, just throwing that out there.
I like it. It looks familiar.
Yeah, it does kind of look familiar. But I'll put your name on it if you want. And you can
put your name on everything you have back there.
I literally will. If it's metal, I will engrave your logo, name. I don't care on there.
You mean literally?
Sold.
I thought you meant you'd put it aside for me.
He's like, there's nothing to put aside.
I see a bunch of bins behind him. What are you talking about?
No. I think I saw a Paladin 9 come in today, so they should be back up on the stock tomorrow.
Nice. What are your thoughts on like adding new stuff kind of in the future? Like, are you planning to move into like, I don't know, AR-45s or AR-40s or AR-10 10 millimeter stuff, like all that?
So actually, I think what you're going to see with us from now through the next year or so is that we're actually going to start adding more brands. So we obviously manufacture for a lot of other people. And I've built this great dealer base, and I think we're going to start adding a lot of both the brands of the people that we build for, as well as other ones that I've formed relationships with over the years, and start basically distributing their products as well as offering them on the retail market a little bit as well. But I think you'll see from us more other brand stuff coming in, just because our capacity is kind of maxed right now. it's hard for me to bring in a new product unless I'm outsourcing it right now.
So for people who don't know, and I think we should address this earlier, white label is not like white power. White label means that
No.
it's a brand name, but or how would you describe white label?
So I think the term white label came from the record industry, literally from the white label that you could just write on whatever record you pressed. You just literally handwrite in whoever it was on that record. But we use the term white labeling means that you are manufacturing it for somebody else to put their name on, essentially. So that's where Randy and I sort of came up with the idea of using the term white label armory. Yeah, so we got an 875. I think they're going into production pretty soon for those 9mm barrels.
Wait, is it in stock?
No,
No.
not yet, but soon. But that's the 875. And then
I think it's the name of it. Go ahead.
I was looking for a 204 Ruger barrel the other day.
no.
Yeah, good luck with that. yeah. Good luck with the sub caliber, the odd caliber stuff in the next 2 years. Everybody's so focused on 5.56 right now that.
All right. So is it wild or wildy?
I go with wild.
Thank you.
Shut up, Aaron.
I think a point's been made.
He said wild is okay. He didn't say it's right. He just said it'll do.
That's when people asked him how do you pronounce it, he's like it's 223 wild.
One of our listeners actually called him Bill Wildy, and he said, "Is it wild or wildy?" And he said, "That'll do."
As long as it sells.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? But yeah, so you think you're going to branch out, start selling stuff, but the problem is do they have any products for you to sell on your website?
Yeah, and that actually is kind of the problem. So hopefully
Well, you don't want to break your trend.
Exactly. Yeah, why have something to stop?
It's so crazy.
That should be the name of the episode, by the way. Out of stock.
Adam B. from Charger Arm says, I need to order more parts for the bin. I use white label for all my Cerakote customers.
I appreciate that.
Very nice.
That's awesome. Very nice.
That's weird. All my Cerakote customers, we just do it in-house in the back with our custom gunsmith.
Your custom gunsmith in Iraq, right?
Wait, you manufacture your own like pins and?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
He grabs a big piece of iron. And
I know. I'm like, you literally do not.
Hey, man, we got a lathe now.
He's going to spend 7 hours of labor to make one takedown pin.
So
you know what? If they paid me enough, I would.
Right. Joel, what's the one product that in the past that you made, you don't make it anymore, and you want to say it was because it sucked to make it? And I don't know if anything in particular. I'm just asking.
Yeah. So I'm going to answer that kind of a general way, and I'm going to tell you low volume, high maintenance customer products.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not their fault. Everybody wants to get into the gun industry now. But you can't get into the industry now if you want me to make you 3 custom lower receivers. It's tough. It's very expensive. Well, like we say, it's really cheap to machine metal. Your first part will cost you $2 million. Every part after that's like $20.
Oh, okay.
So it's cheap, $20.
It's just an initial investment.
Yeah, it's just that initial. It's
not the fall that's going to kill you. It's the hit to the ground.
It's a sudden stop at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what it is.
Wait, so I'm still stuck on this. I only need like 3 lower receivers.
Yeah.
Is that going to work or no?
Well, if you use our variants, yeah, it'll work.
Okay, perfect. No, it's
your logo's not too complicated.
It's fine. It only takes like 4 to 7 minutes to laser.
Okay, that's good. It's about average.
Okay, good. Man, so actually Mr. Guns and Gear, if I recall correctly, he did a pretty cool tour that I watched. And
yeah, he did.
It's a big deal. There's all kinds of stuff there. It's pretty crazy.
And it's changed considerably since even he was through there. There's so much more machinery in there now. That's a really nice guy. I like him. Actually, if everybody wants to keep an eye on his YouTube stuff in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're doing something with him that'll be pretty cool.
Nice. He actually watches this show, so he will hear you say that.
Is it like Rogaine or something?
No, it's pretty cool. I'm kind of happy with the little idea Chris and I had. So
if you see Savage on the end there, he's a poor man's Mr. Guns and Gear.
Gotcha.
He's like
Kmart Bridge.
Yeah, he's like when you get your guns and gear at wish.com. It really is. Savage is our Mr. Never mind.
It happens when you look like a toe.
He's like a thumb with a face. It's the weirdest thing ever.
I mean, at least Mr. Guns and Gear has a beard or
Right.
goatee, you know.
He's got full on.
People have killed
you. He didn't used to.
People have killed themselves because they look like you, and here you are disparaging the planet.
Savage pencils on his eyebrows.
Sometimes
You get what you deserve.
Sometimes when he gets mad, he puts them up really high,
Yeah.
angled down.
He's like, hold on, I'm mad. I'll be back in 5. And he's like, I'm not mad anymore. Be back in 3. Because he just wipes off the top.
That's right.
Yeah, MVD. But yeah, man, it's where do you see like the industry going? Like clearly it's tough fucking times right now, but once we start to recover, we'll say like maybe second quarter 2021 and things are a little bit more available. Like, do you see just everyone kind of prepping for the next apocalypse, or do you see a lot of product development? Like things have been stagnant for a bit here. Where do you see things going?
They definitely have been stagnant. I think right now, all your manufacturers are struggling just to keep up. So there's no innovation going on right now, unless you're literally a small guy who's, willing to invest the money right now.
My wife told me that.
Yeah. Okay. So unless you're a small guy who's literally, you got so much money and time that you can sit around and come up with some new stuff and machine it yourself. Finding somebody to mass produce anything brand new right now is going to be real tough. That's why I said with good luck on small calibers right now, because everybody's drilling and reaming 5.56 because that's what the demand is from the big boys. Next couple of years, struggle to keep up. If politically we're safe with sporting rifles, then I think once everybody catches up, you'll see some neat stuff. Although I don't know if it's really going to come in the AR platform. I think we've pushed the traditional AR pretty far. I think you'll maybe see some new operating systems and maybe some newer weapons coming out, almost as a competition for the AR. I mean, at least as much as I love the AR, I'd love to see that. I
would love to see more piston-driven AR platform stuff.
I mean,
actually.
More piston-driven that work and don't cause other issues. Yeah,
yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
I'm an AK guy, and I love the AK, and I love the AK piston system, and I'd love to see more pistons in the work and a little less dirt in the chamber.
RDB, Kel-Tec RDB.
No.
They make 11 of those a year, Savage.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Kel-Tec's a marketing genius.
I wish
you
they
want it. You can't have it because there aren't any to have.
Yeah, well,
I think you're doing it right now. I think you're taking it out of their playbook.
Exactly. Killing it.
The entire industry is taking a page out of Kel-Tec's playbook.
Do you suppose Kel-Tec's sitting around like, no, like everyone's figured it out. That's crazy. But yeah, what's your passion, Joel, as far as like getting on conference calls, working with companies to create new stuff? Like what's the thing that gets you excited about work, and when you get to do it, it's the best thing ever?
It's actually the people at work. I enjoy what I do. I've been in the industry for a while. I know your show's called, We Like Shooting. I literally, we were talking the other day, I haven't shot in anything but a test fire tube in probably a year and a half. In fact, I literally have the last gun that I shot at Steel sitting in front of me from probably a year and a half to 2 years ago. It's filthy. I've got to clean it. And that was the last time I went shooting for pleasure. And it sucks, but I'm busy every day. I got a good crew at White Label that really has my back and really works the extra hard to make sure that my customers are happy. So what I enjoy most out of it is working with my dealers and working with my manufacturers to get them what they want, when they want it, as much as I can right now. And just making them happy and making them successful as a business. I love seeing other businesses get bigger because I've gotten them the parts and the quality that they need to do it. And I've got probably 15 or 20 guys that I talk to on a regular basis that have been with me for years now, through White Label and through other companies that I've been with, that have just done phenomenal in the last couple of years. And that makes me happy because their success is my success.
Yeah, definitely. The gun industry is actually a pretty cool place.
It is.
There's definitely
super, but it's a really cool place.
I was going to say definitely some drama and out there, but like genuinely, like some of my favorite people on this planet are people that I've met in the gun industry. Literally no one here per se, but no,
that Joel guy.
Oh no, I like Joel more than Aaron.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
And Aaron's my best friend.
Yeah, it's a big industry, but it's actually a pretty small community when you get down to it, and it's kind of nice. It's nice going to SHOT Show. I hope they have it this year. I hope it's not canceled. But it's nice going to SHOT Show and literally just catching up with everybody that's there.
All right, I have a shill question for you. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
So I see you guys have a 100% guarantee for life. Tell me more.
If it breaks and you're using it in the manner it's supposed to be, just let us know. We'll send you a replacement or fix it. I mean, it's not too difficult.
That's actually pretty impressive.
If you're using your upper receiver to do pull-ups on in your basement, I'm sorry, dude.
Wait, we can't do that?
There's a better tool for that, but if you pop an extractor or your spring wears out, just let us know. We'll send you a new one.
What about wear and tear? Like if I get one of those really beautiful BCGs and then it gets some wear on there, I can't send it back and get a new one, right?
Wear is expected on components. If it's something outside of the normal, if you get corrosion or it breaks or like the finish is chipping off where it shouldn't be, we'll fix it for you.
Nice, cool.
But if you say, hey, I've got this nitride BCGs, my rails are starting to not be black, that's the way it works. So
yeah.
That's normal.
I'm looking at your variance lower form right now for your Ambi AR-15 lower. And I'm like, this looks very familiar to me.
Yeah, that's a good lower. Good lower.
It is a good lower. I think I might have one that I got.
I've got one sitting behind me that's got somebody else's name on it. It's fucking great.
Exactly. Everything's a lie. Everything right now I'm noticing is probably manufactured by you.
A lot of it is. A lot of it is. Especially in the BCG world.
Do you have any adjustable gas blocks?
No. And that's kind of one thing. I've been debating that one. There's so many really good companies putting out adjustable gas blocks, right? SLO is hands down favorite. And those guys are really cool too. But I think to do one right, some engineering needs to be put into it. And right now we don't have time for it. So other than just your basic set screw, hope to God the Loctite holds, coming up with something new that's not already patented is a little bit of a process.
So I think Joel just reinforced the whole, there are only like 2 or 3 forgeries, right?
Forges.
All lowers are the same.
So there's more forging houses out there than people know, but I mean, there's a big 4 or 5 of them. And everybody sees the forging marks and, oh, so-and-so made this. And not really. They made the forging. And, yeah, some are better than others, but it's who machined it is the question. Because that's where your quality is going to come in. It's not the actual final machining of that forging. I'm a big fan of forged uppers and lowers, even though we don't carry the lowers yet. It's all in who machined it.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure that my Anderson is just as good as any BCM.
Just as good, right?
Well, it so turns out that Joel makes both, so.
We don't make any parts for Anderson. Sorry.
No, my first AR was an Anderson, and it was great. I love that.
Aaron.
Hey, everybody's got to start somewhere.
Yep, absolutely. That's awesome. Hey, Joel, where can people find like White Label or become a dealer or get a variance or like where can people connect with you with their great ideas or just with their dollars?
Obviously, the website, whitelabelarmory.com. Instagram's a big one for us at White Label Armory. And then you can literally just email me at sales@whitelabelarmory.com. I think we only have one email address for the whole thing right now, and it all comes to me. So
all right.
I see all of it.
Are pictures okay to send to that email address?
You can send whatever you want.
Okay, perfect.
It's just between you, me, and the FBI.
Exactly. Yeah. Wait, do you report?
Report what?
This is important. Let's say pictures of. Never mind. Forget it. You'll see.
Depends on if I like it or not, I guess.
That's all. Hey, can you stick around or you got to run?
I'll stick around.
Okay, cool. So you're a panelist now. Anything you have,
right.
anything to weigh in on, feel free. There's no rules. The only rule is that there's no rules.
That's a really good rule to have.
I love it. All right, let's move on.
Socks.
Yep, exactly. BlackRhinoConcealment.com. They are our holster advertiser, and yeah, good stuff. I was trying to get it done today because I need to submit an order for like 2 whole new rigs. I'm going to get their FCS, that scabbard system that Nick popularized, and then Aaron and I copied, and Savage actually copied. So I need a gray set, and I need a multicam black set because I got 2 new blue Alpha Gear belts, and I need all the gear because that's really what I can get these days. I can't get ammo, so I'm going to basically look cool, I think is what it's going to be. And I'm trying to decide what handguns, but since they do the UBL mid-ride with the QLS fork and receiver, like I could get a couple different holsters. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out specifically like what my perfect setup is and go with that. And it doesn't matter if it's like lights, optics, muzzle devices, whatever you need, they can make. Holsters, mag pouches, any of that stuff. BlackRhinoConcealment.com. Coupon code WLSMofo saves you money. And it's time to talk about some gear.
1, 2.
All right. So time to talk about gear chat. And this is where we just kind of talk about products and stuff. And Aaron, I'm going to start off with you.
All right. Well, tonight I want to talk about a suture kit. Not a Kama suture kit, because that was weird.
That is weird.
A suture kit. So what this is, it's by a company called Skin. It came across my feed today. I just saw it. Like, oh, that's really interesting. What it is it's like a poly. What is that?
It's like a latex. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like simulate skin. And it shows you how to do stitches and how to stitch somebody up, different kinds of cuts, from like a tri-cut, which is a cut coming in from 3 different angles, to an angled cut, to a straight cut. You can also actually make cuts on the material and practice stitching them up. It's supposed to give you like a superhuman effect. But I would suggest that you play some sort of screaming track in the background.
Yeah.
Just to make, and then actually like attach it to a mechanical bull. And then do the suturing, because if you want it to be really realistic, very rarely are people just going to sit there and let you, sew them back together.
Oh boy,
I've sat there and watched while the doctor did it.
Yeah. Did he numb it for you?
No. Okay. Do you know the number of times that this was sent to me today?
No. How many?
A lot. I also want to point out real quick on their website, it says suturing prevents scarring, and then they have a picture of a hand with the worst scar I've ever seen. I'm like, you should have just taken a picture of a normal hand, because then I'd have been like, suturing's really good.
Suturing doesn't leave scarring.
Exactly.
Look at my knee.
Okay, so a bunch of people sent this to me, like 10 plus sent this to me, and I was asking about it. And I'm like, they were like, have you ever thought about teaching this in your med class? Nope. Because suturing is not... This is not like a thing that is life-saving. Like my med class is trauma, right? Massive bleeding, airway, respiration, circulation, and heat loss. Like those are the things we focus on. Suturing is like, okay, I'm f***ing bored and nobody's dying and nobody's bleeding. Let me give you something that a plastic surgeon will need to fix. That is basically the suture, right? Like, so you're not suturing it up. You're not suturing up somebody when they're kicking and screaming, because this is not the movies. It's not like, let me stitch up your skin and then suddenly everything's fine and you're going to have a miraculous recovery. Suturing is a skill that I would think that would be valuable for people. Like I have a suture kit in my main med kit that I would use maybe if I needed to, but maybe like on a pet or something if I didn't want to pay for vet bills. That would be a little more likely.
I think a suture kit and learning how to suture can be helpful in A, boogaloo, B, out in the woods camping, survival. Like,
No.
If it doesn't stop bleeding with just, what are you going to do? Put a tourniquet on it and you're 3 days from somewhere?
No.
Your leg's going to fall up before you get somewhere.
Are you talking about suturing like an artery or a major blood vessel?
Talking about
You're going to bleed out.
Yeah.
Before, all you're doing is I mean, like,
we're the shot.
No. So, and this is actually the common misconception, Jeremy. Exactly what you just said. This is the common misconception. The people think that when they seal that if they can't see the blood, that's a good thing. But meanwhile, the person is bleeding internally from the artery that's hemorrhaging into their body and creating compartment syndrome or like all kinds of different shit. Like if you can suture like the artery, that would be great, but I think that's a skill that is going to be much more difficult than most people even know. Like,
it's a skill worth having.
I mean, if you
I
get
have
scalped,
surgical glue. Like, I would use that, leave a tiny little bit open for pus and to drain out, and then let an actual doctor suture. Like, I can suture. I've done it. Like, I feel comfortable in my skills to do it, but it is really truly useless because I have like super glue or surgical glue or any of that stuff.
I disagree, and here's why.
Tell me why.
Cost savings. Why pay a doctor to do it when I can do it myself?
Yeah, just think your hand could look like the one on the website.
So I can get a fish hook and line and just do it. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've seen someone get scalped before, and they fall and hit a piece of metal, and it flips it. So they didn't hit any major arteries. Yeah, it really does look like that.
Yeah,
but I mean, they're not. Yes, I could have sutured it back on, but that's like a lot of that's medical professionals at that point.
Well, and
what if they don't exist?
Well, if they don't exist, yes, I can stitch it up, and I can sew. I mean, I can sew currently.
A butterfly bandage, like it's going to heal, and you may have a scar, but like it's way easier.
A cool scar.
All right, you're out pig hunting, and a pig. Have you ever like sewed a dog up because a pig got hold of it?
No,
but
I don't.
I get your point.
So like that happens to a person. Doctors don't exist because it's in the middle of the next civil war, and I got to push your guts back in and try like hell to do something other than just double tap you in the back of the head and walk away.
Okay, first of all, if someone is eviscerated, sewing their stomach closed is not going to do anything because they're going to die of infection.
It's just an open wound in the guts, and you can just sure. You find me enough butterfly bandages to fucking put that thing back together.
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Throw a chest seal on it.
I don't think the doctors would just cease to exist if there was another civil war. I mean,
no.
There would still be doctors.
I would.
I mean, they might not be on our side.
I'd be the new doctor. I'd be like drunk as hell. I'd be like, you got ghosts in your blood. You should do cocaine about it.
I mean, we're all going to be doing cocaine about it anyway.
I'd like to request a permission or a prescription for 5 cocaines.
Yes, granted.
Thank you.
But yeah, like I don't think that it's invaluable. I just think that for dirt medicine, it's useless. Like, because you have to sew up multiple levels, and you have to understand anatomy, and like you have to understand infection control, and you have to understand like so many different things. Like just sewing a hole closed is you might as well just put a tampon in it. It's the same level of uselessness, and you've just wasted a tampon.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah. Like I just don't see.
Why do you have tampons in the first place?
I don't see a value here. Now, for animals or something like that, as long as you stop the bleed before you sew the hole closed, like, sure, I think that's fine. As long as it clots and everything's good to go. But butterfly bandages.
Good luck getting a dog to sit still while you sew it up.
Super glue is great for a dog. Like,
to eat?
Don't close the whole thing. There's a couple things to know there. But you want to leave room for it to drain while it heals, and they even do that now when you take them to the vet. So, like, I don't know. I think that there's so many other things. You can make a butterfly bandage out of duct tape or gecko tape or a chest seal. Like, I think that there's things out there that are actually useful and not this. However, I did order this today. I'm absolutely – look – I mean, sure, like it's a skill that I want to sharpen. I can suture. Like it's a skill that I'm definitely interested in getting better at. It's $50, the one that Aaron has in the show notes if you click the link. But, like, I don't know. I think that there's so many other things. You can make a butterfly bandage out of duct tape or gecko tape or a chest seal. Like, I think that there's things out there that are actually useful and not this. However, I did order this today. I'm absolutely – look, I mean, sure, like it's a skill that I'm definitely interested in getting better at. It's $50, the one that Aaron has in the show notes if you click the link. comes with like 20 different things of sutures and, scalpels and things like that. So is it useful? Sure. Is it useful for what most of us want to use it for? No, I don't really think so. Joel, have you ever had?
I guess most of my sewing has been on like farm animals.
Yeah, and I think
like you're not going to shave a cow.
No.
To the point where like a butterfly bandage is going to stick.
I don't know, man. I've shaved a cow for other reasons.
But that was your girlfriend.
Joel, if you ever
that's impolite to call her that.
Joel, you look like you're about to say something.
I mean, I got a German Shepherd puppy I don't know, 3 months ago, and that just sliced me open at least 3 times now where I thought I'd take a stitch, but I still don't think I'm going to stitch myself. The Scooby-Doo Band-Aid did fine after like 2 days.
Right. Hey, I would stitch myself close.
I mean, I wanted to stitch myself. I mean, I thought it might be fun, but in reality, it's probably going to lead to worse problems than I had in the first place from the dog bite.
I agree. And I'm like, being able to stitch something is a good skill. Just everyone's like, oh yeah, it's the movie fallacy, right? Like everyone thinks that Jurassic Park, the newest Jurassic Park, so they have the Velociraptor, I believe, and they're like somewhere, and it has a bullet wound, and they like sew it up, and then boom, like immediate and sudden improvement. And I'm like, this is why nobody knows anything about medical stuff. Is dumb shit like this.
Because the body's just full of blood. There's no vessels.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to pull the bullet out quick.
Just keep it in there.
Right.
The bullet is poison.
Yes, and dude, I know like 4 or 5 people that literally have bullets in their bodies right this second because they don't always take the bullet out because they're like, it'll be more work than it's worth. And so the bullet just lives in there until one day your body just either rejects it or it becomes part of you.
I know a couple of people that like to put bullets in. In IRL.
You mean in Magic the Gathering. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, listen. Speaking of that, I was playing Call of Duty the other day, and I had a couple of listeners I was playing with, and they were all like, dude, do you guys tell me you guys don't play Magic the Gathering? Because we love it. They love Magic the Gathering.
Dude, I did back in the day.
So if you guys are listening, which I'm sure you are, Sean's your man.
No, I don't do it anymore.
Oh, well, never mind. You guys.
But I'm going to tap 5 mana, and we're going to move on to the next thing.
Flip that card.
Exactly. Let's see. I guess it's my turn. I want to talk about this custom knife. So, Noble Knife Design, one of our longtime listeners and friends, he started making knives and like making really cool stuff. So I hit him up and I was like, hey, I would like a knife. And he said, what do you want? And I said, I don't know. I don't really care. I just want a knife. The only thing that it has to have is it has to have our cult medallion in it. And so I got in touch with Rodin Jewelry, who has cast this cult medallion specifically for us. And it's made out of silver.
Oh, look at that thing. Holy.
Yeah, so this is the knife. He delivered it to me in person and when I was in Texas this last weekend. And this is the type of blade is called a Kwaiken, which is basically carried by the samurai class in Japan. And when they would go to like certain things, certain social events where swords would have been kind of like a no-no. But samurai, their code was that they had to be armed, so they would carry like Kwaiken blades and things like that. And this is really one of those things. So I don't remember what kind of wood is actually in the handle, but this thing was literally made in his shop by hand for me, and it's probably one of the coolest things that I've ever gotten. Yeah, I love it. I'll be posting a bunch of pictures on social media tomorrow. Took a bunch today, and
it's sexy,
dude. It's so sharp too. Like I'm genuinely terrified of it. Let me see if I can find another camera angle that is cool. Yeah, there we go. It's beautiful.
It's nice wood too.
It is. It's a super nice wood. I think it's different than the one that he originally talked about, but inlaying the medallion in there was apparently difficult, and I think he broke some scales, but hey, not my problem. I paid for it fair and square, and it is freaking amazing. Like, I love it. Do any of you guys have custom knives?
I have my Knops knife, but that's
no, I do not.
I did. I gave it away to one of the guides in Africa when I went hunting.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Can you go like make your image larger?
Yeah, but it's not going to be easy. So here, hold on. I'll do it.
Oh, okay.
No, it's okay. I'll do it for you, Nick.
Do it.
God, wrong one.
You haven't done it yet.
Nope.
Are you even trying?
I'm trying.
It doesn't look like it.
Nope, that's not the right one either.
So you don't even have to hold up the knife currently to do it. You could actually set it down and use both your hands, and then you can bring the knife up to it.
Oh, there, I got it. Okay, hold on.
Did you?
No,
you didn't. This is the worst. This is the worst attempt ever.
I'm about to get it here.
Don't. Oh, wait. wait. There's 2 camera layers. Okay, there we go.
Oh God, no.
Is this confusing anybody yet? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I'm getting a little sick.
What are you doing? Why are you doing it that way?
I don't know, Nick.
There it is.
That's what I was after.
There. That is
okay.
Yeah, that's a very handsome knife. He did an excellent job.
All right. You kept saying cult medallion?
Yes, Colt.
Yeah, right there.
No, and it sounds like you say colt.
Like a horse?
Okay, well, thank you.
No, like the gun manufacturer. I was like, why
horse.
are you putting a colt?
Wait.
I have a speech impediment, Jeremy.
Wait, are you saying you don't call a young horse a colt?
Yeah, but they don't have a medallion, do they? You
C-U-L-T.
Neither does Colt. They don't have a medallion.
Colt doesn't have a medallion on some of their revolvers.
Unimportant.
They have a logo on their revolvers. It's not a medallion.
Well,
yes, that's exactly what it is. You want me to go get a Colt revolver right now with a medallion in the grip?
Yes, do it right now. Okay, while he's gone.
Okay, let's kick him off.
Okay, kick him out.
Yeah.
So anyway, Joel, have you ever considered
I'm sorry. I'm just distracted by by your logo, and I'm quite honestly, I'm pissed because it's such a good logo.
See, that's the one that we want.
We need that logo on some lowers, by the way.
Yeah. No, I mean, just send me the file. I'll make it happen. That is a
Aaron's got the signet.
Our phenomenal logo.
It is very cool. But yeah, this knife, man, it's everything I could have ever hoped for.
Snake eating itself.
Hey, Aaron.
What's up?
I think Ouroboros.
Yes. You see that? That is called a medallion.
It's hard
on
to
a revolver.
It's hard to see on your potato of a camera.
Logo.
Okay.
It's not in focus. I don't believe you.
Yeah, I can't tell, man. I think it's pretending.
So yeah, this is the cult.
Hey, Jeremy,
knife.
I love you, man. Yeah, it doesn't make a difference where you put it. It's never just well focused.
So Joel just called it. It's the Ouroboros. That's the snake eating itself, and it's got like the Cthulhu inside with 5 eyes. And yeah, I love this thing, man. Like, it was kind of embarrassing because he left like shortly after, and I was standing in the kitchen just like admiring it, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is the coolest thing ever." But at that point, he had like walked back in to tell somebody something, and he was like, "That was pretty cool to hear." And I was like, "Get the out of here."
You, Aaron.
Jeremy's right, everyone.
Jeremy's right.
I don't even know why you can argue with me anymore.
Because did you see you throw your headphones? That's why.
So anyway,
you know how I know Jeremy's going to kill you before he kills me?
True. Anyway, that's the Kwaiken from Noble Knife Design. You can find him on Instagram. Link will be in the show notes, or it's at Noble Knife Design. And Aaron was looking through there earlier, and he's like, "Holy, look at this one."
I was just that's what you talked to me earlier. I was distracted because I was talking to him about a design of a knife that just he has this one that looks almost like a butcher's knife, but it's just obviously just a smaller knife.
Yeah,
so hot, man. It is like his work is awesome,
dude. And it just came out of nowhere. Like just suddenly he was like, "Okay, I'm a master knife maker."
Right.
Yeah. It's awesome, man. It was good to see him. And
so I should get one, and you should get one, and then we should knife fight each other, and then we can suture each other up afterwards.
Perfect, because that's how medicine works.
And then we'll just walk away like we're fine.
Yeah, it'll be.
You knife fight with Jeremy, and then you suture him up afterwards.
Done. Nick, why don't you talk about your product?
What?
What's your product tonight?
What are you talking about?
Goddamn, Nick.
Tonight, on this episode of We Like Shooting, I'm talking about a very exciting product. It's a new product. It is a product that has been made by a company.
Honestly, at this point, I just assume that Joel made it.
No, this is
scope mounts. I hate scope mounts.
Yeah, this is the Black Color Arms. They just announced a new forged carbon fiber scope mount. So they've got 30 millimeters. It looks awesome. They've got 30 millimeter and 34 millimeter. It's
It looks like scope rings with cancer.
Wait a minute. So what is forged carbon fiber?
I believe it's carbon fiber that's put together under a forge, like it's pressed together.
Underneath the forge or in a forge?
I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know that you see it on like wheels on exotic cars and stuff. It's supposed to be really lightweight and really strong.
That does make sense, but it looks kind of ugly as
I don't hate it. So Nick, let me ask you a quick question.
I think it looks awesome.
You know carbon fiber extremely well. Like when you put a carbon fiber coating on a barrel, like what's that process?
When you put a carbon fiber coating on a barrel?
Yeah, like for let's say a carbon fiber barrel, right? Like they put carbon fiber around a barrel.
It depends on the manufacturer. Some of them use a filament, which is just, like a string. Some of them use a sheet of carbon fiber that's rolled around it. Some of them just use a tube and put like our 1022 barrels that we have that are the PWS. That's just a carbon fiber sleeve with a steel barrel that's put through the middle, and there's an air pocket between the barrel itself and the carbon fiber. And then there's a barrel nut put on that basically puts tension on that steel and presses up against that carbon fiber tube. So this isn't like a carbon fiber stock or something. Would be where it's put into a mold and left to cure and maybe like put into a vacuum or something.
It looks like it's injection molded or something like that.
This would be done with pressure. And like I said, I'm not super familiar with the forging process. I know it's relatively newish, not like a year or two old, but it's not an old manufacturing technique. But yeah, basically puts out a product that is super strong, super light. It's going to be less affected by temperature than steel or aluminum. Yeah, it's a cool idea.
Yeah, like
that leads me to think that we're going to see.
I'll be impressed when they make an upper and lower in this.
That's what I was about to say. I'm betting that that's what the next thing they're going to do.
Yeah,
I don't know.
A lower
it might
maybe
be too brittle, but I don't know.
I think it's kind of cool.
And don't call it stronger than titanium, because I can make a titanium one.
I like magnesium lowers.
At least you could do a lower.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to be holding on to magnesium in a firefight.
No, we talked to a company. Nick, it was you and I, right?
Mag. There was a company called Mag that used to make magnesium lowers.
Yeah, super light. And the
actually,
point...
no, you know what? That I rescind my statement. I want a magnesium lower, so if I use it for some coon squad, I can just chuck that in a fire and it's gone.
Okay, that's fair enough. It's very hot and very gone. So, Joel, can you please tell us about your new carbon fiber forging?
We actually have run some magnesium alloy lowers for another company before in the past. The machines didn't catch fire. The laser didn't catch them on fire. So they seem to have figured out as far as the fireproof part of it goes now.
Was that company exhibiting at SHOT Show last year or this year?
I don't know. We cut a small batch for them, and then I don't think we did anything else for them.
Interesting.
But those Mag Tactical ones that you're talking about, when they went out of business, I was actually working to buy their old stock, and that was kind of one of my questions because I didn't know anything about magnesium, and they said, "No, it's not flammable. We'll put a torch on it; it's fine." But there are some interesting magnesium aluminum alloys out there that do show really good promise for durability and lightweight.
Yeah, we saw this. There was a company, I think it was Nick and I were talking to them, and they had like literally almost their whole rifle was made out of magnesium. And that was the first thing we asked. Yeah, remember them?
Yeah, they had that 308.
Yeah.
Was that up at the supplier showcase, or was that down?
It was at the supplier not at the supplier showcase, but it was at the stand up or whatever, the thing that's one day.
Pop-up show.
Pop-up, yeah, that's it. Pop-up preview.
And of course, just in response to Jeff, this does have steel inserts and stuff in it for the threads. At least I assume it's steel. It could be something else, but
it looks like they have little.
That would make sense
for threads and everything.
They have steel plates. It looks like they go under the screws, and that probably screws into another steel plate at the bottom.
let's go a little round table here. How do you think it looks, Shawn?
I actually kind of like it. I like carbon fiber. This looks like carbon fiber if it had like a birth defect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yep. It looks kind of ugly. But
okay, Savage, you think it looks ugly?
I think it looks ugly, but if it works, I mean,
no,
sure.
I'm just going by aesthetics here. Aesthetics alone.
I like it.
Okay, Jerambe?
Whatever.
Okay, Nick?
If it works, it works.
I think it's awesome.
Joel?
Hey, I think if you put it with the right accessories and, maybe some crazy Cerakoted lower rifle, it might look pretty good.
Awesome. I think it looks like my bowel movements this week.
Did you eat
pure
watermelon?
Diarrhea, dude. Pure diarrhea.
Did you eat watermelon?
Oh, my God, so much watermelon.
Aaron, that was a really long setup for an awful joke.
Aaron's like, so let me talk about my...
Yeah, I really just want to tell people that I had diarrhea last week.
I straight up, like the second he started this, I was like, here comes a bad joke.
Yeah, I don't like it, man. Honestly, I don't like the way it looks. I saw this come across my feed today, and I'm like, no, I don't care for it.
I think it's cool.
I'm not alone.
No, so here's the thing, man. Like, if it's strong and light, like we're talking about people who have titanium buffer retaining pins, like every possible gram.
Nobody's arguing about the purpose. The purpose is fine. The premise is fine. It just looks like kind of crappy.
Nick, you built that rifle recently that has all titanium parts, and it wasn't for lightness; it was for aesthetics, right?
Yeah.
In my case, yeah, because I have a heavy barrel and stuff. But
I have one too.
Yeah, if I was trying to save as much weight as I could, then I would go for titanium over steel parts.
But like a F1, like long range shooter, stuff like that, like, or even honestly hunting.
Those are all bench rests, though. I mean, they just sit. They don't have to carry those things around.
Sorry, precision rifle, PRS. That's what I meant.
Okay.
But yeah, like that, or even hunting, like when you're trying to make
your backcountry hunters.
Yeah.
Nobody's arguing about the application. It's perfectly applicable. It has a great purpose. It just kind of looks like.
Okay, I'm going to bring up. I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room. Savage, your guns are the ugliest guns I've ever seen in my whole life.
Dude, give me a break. Come on.
Look here, Bubba.
Yeah. You've got that I would be surprised if Aaron had it.
This looks great. I don't care.
Okay, that is specifically the gun I was referring to. Specifically.
It's like a 2002 throwback.
Right. It's like, this is what a blind person would design if you described an AR-15 to them.
It's like a kid's drawing of an AR-15.
This AR-15 is lighter than the one that Faxon makes.
Yeah, and it would look great with a carbon fiber scope mount.
Oh, imagine how much lighter
it would be. It'd be a little bit lighter with the carbon fiber scope mount. Actually, I want to go back to a red dot with this one.
And it would actually make that gun look better.
All right, fair enough. Joel, you said you haven't been shooting recently. Is there any other gear or stuff that's got you excited lately?
Anything in the AK world. Quite honestly, so I actually live like right next to Krebs Customs.
Oh, nice.
And I get to go up there every once in a while, and some of the stuff that he's doing is pretty cool, especially with the new Galil Aces and his mods on those. So I'm kind of digging that right now. And I saw a photo of the CZ 9mm micro the other day.
Yeah.
I quite honestly, I don't keep up with guns as much as I should, but I saw a picture of that, and I kind of felt like the first time that I saw a Polish underfolding AK, 15 years ago, and that I'm like, that's the first gun I've seen in a while that I actually kind of want, that I need.
Would you be interested in a pre-ban Norinco in 5.56?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Well, that's not pre-ban. Thumbhole stock.
It's
maybe ban.
Yeah, 89, 90. Yeah. No, I'm always interested in a Norinco. Always.
Savage is like, well, I'm selling this one.
Just shoot me an email. We'll figure it out. You need a bulk carrier group? I got one or two of those stashed, but only two.
What's your favorite AK then?
My go-to AK, if I could just have one, is a Polish underfolder.
There you go.
That's hands down. I think the Polish made the nicest AKs out there for fit and finish. Their wood was better than anybody else. Their finish was better than anybody else. Their machining was better than anybody else. I don't think they get the credit they deserve. But that Polish underfolder, I still remember it had to been 15, 20 years ago, I saw a picture. I think it was a Henderson Polish underfolder, and the photo was so good that I'm like, that's where I'm going. And that's kind of what spurred me into the actual manufacturing industry, was a photo of a Polish underfolder, if that seems stupid enough.
Pretty awesome, actually. What was the crazy Krebs gun that we shot that I broke?
That was the 338 Lapua pistol, wasn't it?
I don't know. Was it 338 Lapua? I thought it was some...
Lapua pistol? Are you kidding?
Yeah. And he's go ahead, Nick.
Bolt-action pistol was 338 Lapua.
Okay, so yeah, that one, I broke it, and I felt bad. But yeah, Krebs does make cool stuff.
He is, he's a really cool guy, very down to earth, and just a tinkering genius, man. The guy really is awesome. I'm as much as I don't like being in Illinois, I'm really glad that we ended up literally like a mile from his shop. So
right. Let's be honest, though. He's as crazy as Savage's gun is ugly.
Probably.
My fondest memory of Krebs is when we were at the bullpup shoot, and one of his employees we were like all drunk around a bonfire, and he's like, "I've got a tattoo on my ass." and he pulls down his pants to show everybody, and he's got a big huge streak in his underwear.
And on his ass.
And on his ass.
Like we said, the gun industry's interesting.
Yeah. Right as I was snapping a picture of the fire. So somewhere I have a picture of a ass with a tattoo on it in front of a bonfire. And
it's like he gambled on a fart and had my diarrhea from last week.
Yeah.
that dude had like chocolate oatmeal in his crack.
It was like he had digested an entire Snickers bar into his drawers. It was a good memory. But that's my best memory of Krebs. No, actually, they do make awesome AKs, and if you ever have a chance to shoot them, you should. Let's see, Savage, what's your product?
Oh my gosh, it's up to me now. So yeah, it looks like Kalashnikov Concern is releasing a new PPK-20 submachine gun. So previously they had released a civilian version called the TR9 Paradox, which has a 16-inch barrel and a triangle folding stock. This one has what looks like to be probably an 8 or 9-inch barrel, meant to be suppressed, and has a folding. It's kind of their own proprietary folding stock that can be extended and retracted. It looks like it's a left side folding stock. So I mean, it looks like a pretty cool little setup. I'm sure, I think the who is it? PSA has their own version of an AK 9mm. I'm probably wrong about that, but I thought I recalled seeing something like that. But anyways, Kalashnikov Concern has one. It's got 30 round mags, short barrel, easily suppressed. It's got a safety that's got a little shelf for your index finger to be able to hit. That's a lot easier than manually moving your thumb up to the standard AK safety. I mean, it's a cool little piece, and it's apparently they've already gone through all their trials. They say it's passed the official trials and is deemed fit for mass production. So I'm willing to bet that it'll probably be adopted fairly soon by Russia. But I mean, I could easily see this or a pistol version being floated over here in the U.S.
It's interesting. It's similar to the NAC-9 from Century Arms.
Century, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so it's got that injected polymer magwell that's kind of bolted on, exactly the same.
Yep.
It looks similar. Maybe
all it is like an HK slap and you're all set.
CAA hardware. It looks like. I think that grip looks CAA. I could be wrong about that.
No, that is.
Is it? Yeah, I thought it was. And is that a Magpul stock?
It looks Magpul-ish.
Yeah, but it's sliding.
It's extending, but it's also side folding.
Yeah, and
it almost looks like the boot from the what am I
Scar?
Thinking? Scar, thanks. Yeah,
kinda. I don't know.
I mean, these are probably Russian-made parts.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be Kalashnikov.
Kalashnikov, they love CAA. They'll bolt that on all day long.
Yeah, but, and it has a top rail,
like Russian Jews.
It has a top rail there with Picatinny slots, so that's always a bonus because
is it though on the dust cover?
It looks almost like, I can't really tell, but it looks like the disc cover is connected to the front sight. I may be wrong, but that's what it kind of looks like.
Yeah, let's
it looks like it's attached to the
crank setups.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so it
actually work pretty decently.
They do.
Yeah.
Almost as good as that sight that was hooked up to the bolt.
Why do Russians?
Oh my God.
Why do Russians always wear gloves?
Why? Is this a joke? Because
No.
Marty always finds that.
I really don't. Man,
because of the crocodile.
okay, for a second I was like, what?
Oh, crocodile.
Yeah. He needs some milk. All right.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well,
It's absolutely awesome how many American-made AKs are coming out right now, though. You have to admit that. I mean, whether they're good, there's some good ones, there's some bad ones, but 15 years ago, if you want anything but a Wasser, you're making it in your garage. And now we've got so many options.
I know, like IO.
okay. All right.
It's funny. I go to my local gun dealer that's a pawn shop also, and they have so many IO AKs. I'm like, ew.
Yeah, why do you need a solid steel pin when a roll pin will do to hold your front sight base on? You know?
True. Savage is trying to get rid of that 5.56 Norinco.
I'll take it.
He was like at the pawn shop, and they were like, "Get out of here, kid."
I'll sell you my AK.
You have a Yankovic. Yours is select fire. Oh, I got my my full auto Glock sear in the mail.
From Wish?
No.
Oh yeah, you told me it was on the way.
Yeah, no, I got it. I got it logged in. I just haven't actually done anything with it yet. So tomorrow, hopefully, I'll be able to get that in, and then I will have that full auto Glock going. I don't want to say anything, but I swear that there's people out there who get FFLs so that they can make machine guns, so that they can turn in their FFL and do a one-time transfer.
That was literally on Reddit like 2 days ago. People were saying, hey, why don't gunsmiths do this? And yeah, I think you're right. There are some that are out there that do that.
I 100%
Absolutely.
believe that is the case, because the people I bought it from was a broker, and they basically get FFLs that are FFL 07, 02s that are turning in their stuff, and they can do that one-time transfer with no law letter. And I swear that people do that like as a business plan.
Yeah, I picked up a PKM about 2 years ago from somebody that I'm pretty sure was doing that.
Yeah.
Jerambe,
too.
I don't care how I get it. I'll take a PKM any day.
Yeah, exactly.
I missed out on an M60 E3.
Wait, was that the one for 9K that you bid?
Yeah, dude, it was sitting at like $9,000 for a week and a half. Nobody bid against me for a week and a half. I'm like, I'm gonna get this M60.
It's always the last
for
minute.
$9,000. Dude, it doubled. It went for 17.5.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was like, oh.
Dude, I got my selectable Glock Autoseer for $435. Which to me, I'm like, that's way less than I was able to find on Gunbroker.
I don't even want to tell you how I got mine.
I know how you got yours. You don't want to tell me because, well, it's questionable at best.
See you, Mr. ATF.
All right, let's go ahead and move in to WLS's Lifestyle. This is brought to you by Brownells. You know what Brownells has?
They have deals?
They do.
All kinds of stuff.
They have stuff in stock?
Well, some stuff.
I think we still have stuff on the wish list.
So I went to Handguns the other day because I was like, let's see what they got. I'm going there now. Here, I'll do it live on screen. Okay, so I'm in Handguns, and then I'm going to go Handguns, and then I'm going to go in stock. 16 items. So they've got a Geisley Super Duty 22 LR 1911, a 1911, a P210, which is pretty cool. And that's pretty much it. Like a 45 long Colt revolver, some Taylor's firearms revolvers, some cool stuff there. A couple of Volkortsons are there. So what they don't have right now is a lot of handguns because, as with everybody else, they're totally out of stock on stuff.
They are out of stock on so much stuff. Oh, my God.
But let's look at all this Polymer 80 stuff. I know people have been like super
Oh, that's all in stock. Look at all that Polymer 80 stuff in stock.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's like the PF 940 V2, which is my favorite. Yeah, there is some Polymer 80 stock. The P320 grip module. That's available at Brownells. There is stuff at Brownells. They are suffering just like everyone else is. So let's see if I go to 9mm. Or actually, let's see.
We've never seen gun sales and gun part sales like we have in 2020. Like this, it's so insane. There's never been anything like this before in all of history.
Because after Sandy Hook, it was a bunch of people that already owned guns or liked guns that went out and bought extra guns because the government was being.
And then there was a bunch of FUDs that were buying up all the fucking 22.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah, but that made no sense. But it was a bunch of people that was already gun owners after Sandy Hook, 2012, 2013.
Yep.
Oh,
this time it's all new gun owners.
Yeah.
They have FDE SBA 3s in stock.
Man, I actually might need an SBA 3 FDE.
I have FDE SBA 4s in stock.
No.
Nobody likes the SBA 4s.
Yeah.
The 4s are garbage.
Dude, the A4s are so much better.
They're better,
4s.
but the 3s are aesthetically better.
But I actually I ordered Savage 10 bolt action and 6.5 Creedmoor from Brownells. So, like they have stuff. Go out there, shop with them. Brownells.com. Aaron, what's your lifestyle?
I wanted to talk about drone footage.
Okay.
That sounds like a weird topic to talk about lifestyles, but
Shawn has been getting some amazing drone footage.
Shawn's been sharing a lot of drone footage with us, and I have two statements to this whole thing. First, why does he have to put those stupidest, worst music in there?
Because it's like it comes with the app that I use.
Whoa! I don't expect the answer. It's rhetorical. And second of all, you're riding on a motorized longboard in all these videos, yet you're swaying back and forth like you're actually pushing it. Let's be honest. All you have to do is stand there and it'll go.
Okay,
first of all, you don't need to go rock back and forth. Watch whip some up and let's watch the video.
First of all, it's called carving, and it's how you have fun on a longboard.
I don't think anyone can have fun on a longboard. Let's be honest.
No, dude, it's so much fun.
You can have fun, you just can't look cool.
Okay, that's fair. This is the snowstorm that we had this morning.
In Colorado, it's amazing. They have fires and snow in Colorado. Okay, that music is kind of fucking lame.
Stupid?
Yeah, that music
right.
It was just like it's part of the app that I use to edit these together real quick.
That's a terrible app.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. Whoever designed this app should be shot in the back of the head.
I mean, use Premiere Rush
coming.
Use Premiere Rush if you're just getting,
okay, first of all, every one of you except Joel. He's cool.
I like longboards. I have one. I mean,
so
is it motorized? Is it motorized?
Are you guys going to touch tips and dock now?
Maybe. Okay.
The laugh scares me. Joel's over the corner.
So yeah, I was testing the drone, and if you watch this video, you'll notice a very dramatic bicycle rider. So longboards. This is my brand new board that I just got.
So there you go, longboarding. Not you don't have to carve. You're just standing on a board. It's like it's like hey,
nice
I'm at.
Right,
it's like I'm at an airport. I basically that's what longboarding is. You're in an airport. You're standing on one of those old things that moving you from one place to the other without having to walk. It's a lazy mode of transportation.
I don't know, man. It's just fun, like just being there, listening to music, just enjoying the weather and the views, and just carving back and forth. It's like snowboarding.
Is that drone auto tracking you?
It is, yes.
Cool.
Yeah. So this was both those videos that I showed were like me getting ready to take it to the range because we're gonna add a lot of drone footage into the videos coming up.
What kind of drone is it?
It's a Mavic Air 2.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, nice buy.
Yeah, I'm really super stoked with it. And now here's two of us carving.
Dude, you just make me hate you.
That's fine.
It's like you're trying to catch him and touch his butt is what it looks like.
So we were going about 15 miles an hour at this point. The boards go between 20 and 30, just depending.
Wait, they go between 20 and 30, but you're only doing 15, so they do between 0 and 30.
Well, yeah, they do, but we were just enjoying it. This was in Garden of the Gods. So coming up here in a second, I had it track me through trees and under a bridge. And for the people who are listening, I apologize. It's just me moving back and forth. Like, okay, that's true.
Why are we watching this?
I don't know. Aaron had a point. So here's the bicycle riders that I didn't see, and I said, I'm sorry. And then we slowed down and let them pass.
God, this is gayer than AIDS.
In the 80s. Let's be specific here.
The Gaties?
I mean, still overwhelmed. I mean, still, heavily represented.
Yeah. So, oh, wait. That's the wrong video. Let's see.
No, this is the right video. You got to go farther.
Yeah, no, it's the wrong video because this is We Like Shooting, not We Like Looking Like bags on a longboard.
Aaron brought it up. It's not my fault.
It could change.
Okay, hold up. Let's see. Okay, so
oh my God, start a new podcast.
The drone is actually following me through right now. I am not controlling it. I was looking at the camera real quick. A bicycle rider comes around this corner and then he's all, even though it was like 12 feet off the ground. So it went under that bridge by itself.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. That's pretty good avoidance systems this got going on there.
It is. It is.
It just narrowly missed that bicyclist.
Dude,
apparently.
No, it was like 5 feet above him. He was just a little. So anyway, Aaron, what was your drone thing?
Drones are cool.
Drones are cool.
They are. I've got some really good ideas for our review videos that we do.
That longboard and music, not so much.
You could probably do that. The orbit function. I think those have an orbit function, and then do some running guns. That'd be pretty dope.
They've got a few actually. There's some built-in stuff, and then you can do point of interest waypoints and.
Can you remote control your longboard? Like make it go on its own?
So when I was doing that, I had the drone control in my left hand and my longboard control in my right hand. Uh-huh. So I was trying to monitor the drone and not crash.
Were you doing this?
So Joel, you have a longboard.
That was pretty much a setup, though.
Yeah.
That was a pretty fucking setup.
All right. But yeah, so I want to put drone footage in the videos, but not make it like too overwhelming and not use too much of it. But yeah,
it should all be drone footage, just all of it.
It would probably be better because close-ups.
If you wear a mask, you're just a drone, a sheep.
Well, with the drone, you can put the drone down range. As long as you know where you're shooting.
Well, no, I'm planning to have it orbit me, and then I'll just stop shooting when it crosses in front of me.
Like most objects, because of your mask.
However, to be 100%, to be 100% clear, I actually did get the DJI Care, so I get 2 replacements.
Oh, good call.
Yeah, because I'm like, if we're going to be using it while we're shooting, it'll be cool. But I don't know.
So I can shoot it at least once then.
No. So Joel, our last drone, we bought like state-of-the-art like U.S. robotics drone when drones were first getting cool. And then one of our friends, we have a cannon. And we were like, shoot it near the drone. So I take the drone up and it's hovering there and it's just like cool, and the GoPro and the gimbal and everything is pointed right at us. And so he fires the cannon near the drone, and it was a direct hit on the drone. And yeah.
Hit the camera right off
it.
Yes, we
okay,
did.
Well, it's worth it, totally.
Yeah, I actually just sold that drone. So this was like 5 years ago. I just sold that drone last week, 2 weeks ago.
What, for parts?
On Facebook Marketplace. I don't give a what he uses it for. He paid several $100s for it.
Good for him.
Yeah, that's all I care about. That's actually what funded the purchase of the new drone.
Nice.
Yeah, so I don't know. Drone, I will say, I don't know how this has anything to do with shooting, but yeah, we're going to have drone footage in our videos going forward.
Drones are cool.
They are. The process to fly drones, especially for commercial. So I registered the drone as is required by the FAA.
Bootlicker.
I took. I took all the associated training that I needed to. I passed a ton of pre-tests, so I feel fully confident in my ability to pass pre-tests. So to use it commercially, meaning to use it in our YouTube videos, you have to have a drone pilot's license, which means that you have to pass a test called the FFA Airman's Knowledge Test or whatever. And so I go to the website that proxies those tests so I can schedule to take my test and get my drone pilot's license. And that test is not even available anymore, like right now, because of COVID. So I'm like, well, I'm putting it in the videos. And as soon as they start offering tests again, I'll immediately go get tested. go take the test and do it and get my pilot's license. But until they offer
I think you
them,
need to be tested, but for other reasons.
Shut up. Anyway, where are we at here? Nope, not that one. This one. All right, so this is going
on the Love Boat.
Yeah, this is going ballistic. But with Savage 1R, it's brought to you by Second Call Defense. Who was it? Someone just yesterday or something was talking about Second Call Defense and self-defense insurance, and like in their lifetime, this is the time when we need it the most. And I was like, yeah, I agree. I actually realized that mine wasn't active several weeks ago, and I went and re-upped because I'm like, dude, with all the protests and craziness going on.
Do you get a free sweatshirt?
No, but our listeners get a free shirt. And
I signed up using my own instructor number.
Your own affiliate number?
Yeah, whatever they call it.
Nice. But yeah, like second call defense, self-defense insurance. We had Shawn Maloney on not too long ago just talking about it. They have their own captive company now, meaning that they get to decide who to cover, which is great, which means that even if you're like in a gun-free zone or something, they will cover that, which he announced on the show, but I think is so. Let's say you're in a movie theater, which is a gun-free zone, or let's say you're somewhere else, which is a gun-free zone, and you have to use your firearm to save your own life. Like, they cover that, and they can do that because it's their own captive company now, which is pretty freaking huge. And I don't think any of the other companies are doing that. So, Second Call Defense, welikeshooting.com/SCD. Don't wait till it's too late. Like, honestly, think about it right now. Go look at it. It's as little as $10 a month, all the way up to about $40, which is what I have for Angel and I. And it is pretty awesome. Savage, let's talk about some news.
Let's talk about some news. So, still kind of going on in the headlines today. There's a lot of talk about Kyle Rittenhouse and how he was a minor who crossed state lines with a gun specifically to murder black people, even though he was legally allowed to possess a firearm. He did not cross state lines with the gun. He was given the gun in that state, and he only shot in self-defense. So let's just get that out of the way.
Wait, hold up before you go there. Did he bring the gun back with him?
No.
He gave the gun back before he went back across state lines?
I don't know that
actually,
but I would imagine he probably did.
It was his buddy's gun that he had borrowed.
Yeah. All right, just want to make sure that, like you said, they said he crossed straight lines and didn't say which direction he was going. I just want to make everything clear.
Well, everybody's been making the point that he came over.
That's not what you said. You said he crossed state lines. There's a difference.
Into, lines. Not out of.
Into,
okay,
yes.
Just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
I'll make that very specific. Into Minnesota. So what is very interesting is that if you go back and look at the Militia Acts of 1862, 55, and 1903, there is a theory, and a very well-founded one out there, that states that, 17-year-olds are well within the limit to be able to be considered an able-bodied male that can be a part of the militia. So in 10 U.S. Code 246, the militia composition and classes, the militia of the United States consists of all able-bodied males at least 17 years of age and, except as provided in Section 313, under 45 years of age who are or have made a declaration of intention to become citizens of the United States, blah, blah, blah. They can be part of the unorganized militia. So that means male 17-year-old citizens, by definition, as enshrined by current binding federal law, are members of the militia and therefore have the fundamental statutory and constitutional right to keep and bear arms, even under the most restrictive reading of the law. So, regardless of what the state laws are, they might have made laws against that. However, there has never been a case before that has dealt with this specific kind of issue where a 17-year-old could be in possession of a gun in service of the state militia or of a militia within that state. So I think we have an interesting case here, and I'm pretty sure that if they are choosing to pursue charges against him, he could have a valid defense here, a very valid defense. Aside from the laws in Minnesota, which I do believe allow for 16 years or older to possess a firearm or a rifle for certain usages, I think the only restrictions they have are for SBRs. So he might actually be protected on two different levels. And if they bring this, we might actually see a pretty good Supreme Court case if they don't already give it to him in the lower circuit courts.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think that it's ever going to get that far. He can reasonably articulate that he had fear of immediate, unavoidable death or serious bodily harm when he used his firearm in self-defense. Like, I don't think we're going to see like a Second Amendment case that goes to the Supreme Court out of this.
However, he is getting extracted or extradited to Minnesota, and they might try and throw the book at him.
Okay, but that doesn't mean anything. You say that and it sounds scary, but all that really means is Wisconsin, by the way. All it means is that he committed his acts in Wisconsin. He was taken into custody by law enforcement in Illinois. They cannot try him in Illinois, so they want to work with law enforcement to bring him back to Wisconsin where they can charge him with these crimes. Like it sounds like really scary, but really it's just normal. And it's when we say extradited, we imagine people bringing Pablo Escobar to the United States to put him on trial.
I'm just saying he's subject to Wisconsin rules or laws.
Well, when he was there, he was, yeah. And they're going to charge him in Wisconsin, not Illinois. So, Joel, this is. I mean, he's from. Where is he from? Which part of Illinois?
He's from somewhere around here. He's not too far outside of the west side of Chicago.
West side.
From what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Suburbs and cornfields.
Exactly.
So many cornfields.
There is
away from the border. So,
but yeah, I mean, like okay, that's cool, but I don't know. I feel like we muddy the water so much with so much stuff, and then go ahead.
Yeah,
Joel.
unless he's got like some sort of benefactor to back a big legal team and a lot of legal bills, he's going to plead a minor in possession of a firearm, and they're going to drop everything else.
No. He has a huge swath of high dollar lawyers that are doing it pro bono because they're pissed.
Yeah.
Good. Well, if he's got that, then you might see a total clearance on it. But if he's if he's an average Joe who doesn't have that, he's going to plea and drop the rest.
The kid that just sued CNN
for $250 million
and got a million. That guy's his lawyer.
Yeah.
Well, his counsel.
Well, one of his lawyers.
Yeah.
And he was like, anybody want to help me try this case? I'm not a defense lawyer. And some people were like, I am. And a lot of these lawyers are just pissed. So Kyle Rittenhouse has like the fucking dream team of God defense attorneys.
He does.
That's just awesome that there's some defense attorneys that are willing to do that, on this side. And it's not just for the First Amendment and the Fourth Amendment and everything else, but there's actually some people willing to step up and back the second.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, this is interesting, Savage, but I feel like just we focus on the just dumbest sometimes, like as a gun community. And I'm like, yes, this is interesting, but
we have to, because we get so around by the courts and they use every single excuse and every little loophole they possibly can to us. We need to be able to do the exact same thing back. So we need to know about these issues that are specifically outlined in state and federal law that would make a person exempt from the stupid laws that they make to prosecute.
So, specifically the NFA being a tax stamp.
Right.
Yes.
And it is not illegal to own said gun, but you need to either have a special tax exemption or special tax status or have a literal stamp. The people are blown away when I say no. It's a literal stamp. It's a literal stamp.
Right. It is. So yeah, I don't know. Like the fish says taking a militia angle on this case is a bad idea. He didn't carry a gun over state lines, acted in self-defense. Making this case anything other than that is idiotic. I kind of agree. Like his lawyers didn't mention that he was a militia member in any of the stuff. They were just like, yeah, no, he could reasonably articulate fear of immediate, unavoidable death or serious bodily harm. Therefore, he's good to go. The gun.
But in these cases, remember in Colorado when they tried to argue for just Colorado state constitution when they could have done for the federal.
Yeah, and it us over forever.
Yeah, it totally you guys over. So when you put up the defense, you throw everything at the wall that you possibly can and see what sticks. So I mean, yeah, you use the self defense and reasonable belief, but you also have Second Amendment plus, the Militia Acts multiple, years in order to back your position up. It's not just like, well, we're just going to go this singular minute route that we might be able to win. You get everything in there that could possibly win.
Yeah, but this is a dude on Reddit talking about this. Like,
it is, but he's not wrong. I mean, that's what the Militia Act says. Like, any 17 to 45-year-old person could be considered part of the militia.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this stuff has a habit of backfiring, and I know you're just reporting it. I'm not coming after you. I just think I don't know. Sometimes I think that some people are a little smarter than the rest of the people, and that I guarantee tomorrow when I'm on Reddit or on Facebook, I'm going to hear somebody talking about, oh no, he's totally with the Militia Act, and not know any thing about it, and I'm going to be like, okay, this is our problem right here. When dumb people try to analyze really smart things, it just becomes nonsense. Like, if his attorneys think that this needs to go there, they will do so. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm just jaded.
Well, I think you're a little jaded.
I think I am.
Well, I think, the tack that you took, like with the whole, when dumb people try to analyze stuff, I just think when people venture out of their comfort zone, when there's actually people, it's like, my perfect example is drywall. Like, I can drywall. Most of us can do drywalling, mudding and sanding, but we'll just do an average job. But there's people who get paid to do it professionally who do a better job at it because they're professionals at it.
Yeah.
So they're professional lawyers. Those are the ones who should be debating this. Us and us laymen.
Well, and
stay out of it and watch.
And I'm not saying that it's like not interesting to talk about. Just, I guarantee tomorrow I'm going to read a bunch about this and how he's covered under the Militia Act. And oh boy, I'm going to lose my like I do every day. Like I
did last week,
dude.
With diarrhea.
Yeah, I uninstalled Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger from my phone. Had it with social media.
Do you still have Snapchat?
No.
Oh,
do you have that face replacement app?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the only app that matters. Although now I can't use any of the GIFs to respond to people on Facebook.
That's right, Fish. I did say stay in your lane because, there's a reason for that.
Next story.
There's a reason why that saying makes sense.
Your lane, stay in it. So this actually happened in Shawn's neck of the woods. So Colorado School District, they called police because a 12-year-old boy flashing a clearly toy gun in his own home, so in an online classroom, while the teacher told police the orange gun marked zombie killer, even though the picture right here says zombie hunter, was clearly a toy. The police went to the home of Isaiah Elliott on a welfare check. Elliott. And the boy who has ADHD and learning disabilities was suspended. So this is a case where the kid in his own home, clearly with a toy gun, was around, and because of zero tolerance, zero logical brain usage, the teacher called it into police, and this kid got a welfare check. Probably could have got shot because that kind of, we're at the point where people are being, they're basically swatting people and saying, oh, this kid has a gun. It's a toy gun. So they call the police on this kid, and then he gets suspended for literally like something perfectly legal to do and have in your own home. But because people are idiots and they can't think rationally, they have to do this dumb reporting. I mean, like, I can't understand how crazy you have to be to do this. I mean, can you imagine the kind of stress that kid who already has a learning disability went under to get a visit by the police?
All right.
That's a lazy kid whose parents don't discipline him enough. Going like, no, he has ADHD. No,
okay.
He needs beat.
Okay, so hold on a second. There's some very important things. Sorry, Savage. I actually do appreciate you. I'm not trying to go after you tonight, but here's the whole story here. So the biggest concern here is that, so they're doing Zoom classes or whatever it is, whatever kind of video conferencing system they use, doesn't matter. One of the things that, in my opinion, one of the biggest things here is that they were recording it without informing parents, without informing anybody. So they're recording all these children in their homes. He apparently was moving it from one side of the sofa to the other side of the sofa. What this article doesn't say, and I can't find it anywhere in here, is that he had another friend that was also there in class that at some point did pick up that gun and point it directly at the camera and pull the trigger. Also, this is a black kid. His parents said that when the cops showed up, they didn't notify the parents of any of this. The teacher notified the school administrators. The school administrators called the police. The police headed to the house, and the parents weren't notified till the police were already on their way. So they're recording children without parents' approval. The other kid did point the gun at the camera and pull the trigger at some point. So it
wasn't even this kid,
right? And that other kid got a visit as well. Like, it's stupid. Don't get me wrong, but there's important details that I think this article from Jonathan Turley, whoever that is I leaves out.
Like if I was in high school and I had to sit at home and do it in my bedroom, I'd be sitting there twirling 45s on my fingers.
No, I know that, but like there's details here that I think are left out, and I think they're important details. They shouldn't be recording this stuff without parental approval.
Absolutely.
That clearly it's not as innocent as it was meant to. Like, yeah, he flashed it on the screen, but there was way more to it than that. The kid's parents, and this is the first I've seen of ADHD or learning disabilities. The kid's parents are like, he's a black kid, and when police show up at our door, that's in today's society, that's like a tough thing for him to deal with and for him to cope with. Like, there's a lot here, but I'm like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Suspend the kid for around when he should be in school.
He wasn't the one who was around.
It doesn't matter.
It wasn't him.
Well, whatever. I mean, yeah, around while you're
house.
supposed to be in school is one thing.
yeah,
But, like, I don't care that he had a gun or, like, a toy gun in his goddamn hand.
I don't either. And it's absolutely, I mean, it's utterly ridiculous. I don't even know where this is. I don't know where Grand Mountain School is. Joel, did you hear about this?
No, but just the other takeaway on this is everybody's calling to defund the police, yet we literally paid police officers to go out and deal with a non-crime of a behavior in a school setting.
Yeah.
So if you want to defund the police, stop calling them for stupid.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I had a thought today,
Okay.
and it made me laugh and sad. And all these idiots that are out protesting, like, defund the police and they don't realize that the only reason I haven't murdered all of them is because the police will arrest me.
Okay, that's fair.
If you want to defund the police, you therefore revoke all your privileges in being able to use the police as a resource heretofore.
So do you think that if that other kid had not pointed the gun at the camera and pulled the trigger, do you think that him just moving it from one side to the other of the couch, they would have gone through all this?
Probably.
See, I don't. I think that was how the media framed this issue, but not the truth of the issue. And it just goes on to further that the media is the enemy.
No.
I mean, they've kicked kids out of school here in Colorado for having photos on social media.
Yep, they have.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, let's be fair. Colorado's had a lot of school shootings. Okay, I mean,
true.
You guys kind of started the trend there.
Columbines, STEM. Morpheus said, I'm sorry, did Shawn spell wrong? Just insinuate the idea that because he pointed a Nerf gun at a laptop that was somehow threatening. No, it's stupid. Threatening and stupid are two different things. It's stupid. And of course, in today's, I don't know, in the way things are now, of course the teachers are going to act like little and try to do something about it. Like, so of course, because I'll tell you what, if they didn't, and then one of those kids like takes a gun to school, then those teachers are going to be pulled through the ringer because they didn't report it, even though they had it. It's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. I think it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but I also know that everyone's trying to cover their own asses these days.
Right, and that's how I mean, I take the tact of they're covering their ass on this. I mean, what if? And it's a huge leap, but what if? And I keep spelling your name wrong.
Well, this is the problem. This is the problem with giving. This is the problem with people letting schools raise their kids for them.
Yes,
or letting the state do it. Nobody thinks. Zero tolerance, zero, off. Like, I mean, this is literally
all the teacher had to do is say, "Hey, tell your friend to knock that shit off in the back."
Well, what if it was a real gun, though? The teacher doesn't know.
Literally, it has an orange tip.
But obviously, the teacher wouldn't have called the cops if she knew it was a toy.
She said it was a toy.
The administrators called the cops.
Toy.
Yeah, they knew it was a toy from the beginning.
All you had to do, knock that shit off in the back. Tell your friend to knock that shit off. That's it. That's all you fucking have to do.
First of all, why the is his friend at his house? This is school.
Right. Second of all, why do you have the camera on? Like, when my son was doing his Zoom meetings, he had his camera off.
Exactly.
You know, he's like, I don't need people looking in my room.
Look, it's not a big deal, but, like, try to look at it realistically.
I'm over here trying to turn school.
Right. I don't need people
I got two screens for a reason, Mom.
Exactly.
Can you stop lecturing for a second? Just for a second? Okay.
I haven't worn pants in 7 days. I'm not going to do it for school. Next.
I honestly think you're going to see a lot more homeschooling after all this.
Oh, you're already seeing it.
No. Now because you have to. But like, I think a lot of people are just going to opt not to put their kids back into school.
You don't have to. Like, school's in session here in Colorado.
Like here, for the first quarter, the schools gave the parents the choice of a blended or like online or a blended, like half online, half in school.
Yeah, I think it's
yeah, and it's like the first quarter, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll reevaluate." But our governor's so
yeah, welcome to the club.
Who knows what that's going to be like?
Yeah.
But like even my brother, who thinks homeschooling is stupid, is homeschooling his kids.
Right. Like, we had the option of sending our kids to school or doing the Zoom meetings at home, and I'm like, I'm a terrible teacher. I have no patience. Nothing. The kids are going to school,
dude. Yeah, like get to school. There's less than 20 children have died of COVID. I don't care who you transmit it to. Go to school.
Yeah, like at this point, you got a better chance of getting killed at home than you do at school.
Exactly.
One of those kids that died from COVID was literally from our school district, but it was before we knew it was COVID.
Interesting.
He died in November of an unknown pneumonia or something like that. And he had health issues. He was immunosuppressed. Like, it was a thing. Yeah. And everybody like, oh, did you hear little Timmy's older brother died? But, you know, he had medical problems. And you're like, oh, that's kind of up. Like, he got a weird flu and he died. And it was before we knew what COVID was. And everybody's looking back like, that died of COVID.
I mean, like I think less than 20 kids under the age of 14 have died from COVID in the United States, according to CDC data.
And 12 of them probably had cancer.
Who knows? Who knows? Savage, next story.
Next and last one. So it looks like we might see some action behind the bump stock ban being knocked down. Now, don't get your hopes up.
Never do.
The new Civil Liberties Alliance, never heard of them before, but apparently they're pushing this case. So they're a nonpartisan, nonprofit civil rights group celebrating a reprieve today in the case of Aposhane versus Barr after U.S. Court of Appeals in the 10th Circuit vacated a panel decision and granted NCLA's petition for rehearing en banc. So if you don't know, generally when they get heard,
I thought it was en banc.
I thought so
whatever.
too. Yeah.
Fine, it's en banc. If we're going to be pronouncing everything correctly, but
right. I mean, that's kind of like our hopes to do that, right?
I mean, can we?
No.
Well, it wouldn't be en banc because the vowels would make different sounds because it's an E and an A, so it'd be en banc.
It reminds me of Martin Short from what's the movie with Steve Martin?
The Jerk?
Three Caballeros or the Three
Amigos?
Three Amigos?
Three Caballeros is
the Disney one.
It's like Parenthood or something.
The Parent Trap?
No, where his daughter's
getting married.
Wedding.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't remember anyway.
Yeah.
Back to the en banc appeal.
No, en
banc. So
no,
en banc.
En banc.
En banc.
En banc.
For the love of God, I don't care. What's the story?
So these guys, the NCLA is challenging the ban on bump stocks issued by the BATF that was issued back in March of 2019. So instead of just a 3-judge panel, the full 11-judge panel is going to rehear the entire case fresh, but they're going to specifically have to address the following questions, which they have ordered in the supplemental briefing. Number 1, did the Supreme Court intend for the Chevron framework to operate as a standard of review, a tool of statutory interpretation, or an analytical framework that applies where a government agency has interpreted an ambiguous statute? So basically, can agencies make up their own rules as they go along. So can the two-step deference depend on one or both parties invoking it? Can it be waived? And if it must be invoked by one or both parties in order...
Is there a NBanc version of this story that you can just tell me?
Look, basically... So it's basically that the ATF has been over and over again randomly and just basically on their own volition changing interpretation of laws based on what they feel it should be rather than what the laws actually state. So NCLA is trying to get it so the courts will rule that the agencies have to rule on what the actual law says. So in the NFA, 1934 NFA, Congress declared that a machine gun is more than one bullet comes out of the gun with one pull of the trigger. But one function of the trigger, one function. So that's why we have binary triggers, because a pull and a release is two different functions. So by one function of the triggers, a bump stock, as everybody who knows anything about bump stocks or guns knows, it's one pull of the trigger and one bullet comes out. And then you're pulling the firearm forward, and that pulls the trigger again, and it recoils, and you pull it forward again. So every single time the trigger is getting pulled once, and every single time one bullet is coming out. The ATF redefined bump stocks to be machine guns, even though they are not. And so this case has the chance of reversing that. And I think they have a really good case because mechanically, if you look at the exact definition of 1934 NFA, the ATF is going to lose on this one.
Joel, do you guys make all the bump stocks that were out there?
No, we actually don't make that.
Okay.
Did you ever own a bump stock?
Never owned a bump stock. Do you guys remember the Aikens accelerator for the 1022 that kind of started this whole thing?
Tom Bowers has talked about it.
That was one of the main designers.
Yeah. I mean, same basic theory where they decided, well, the trigger's not a trigger. The spring's actually a trigger. So therefore, this is a machine gun.
Right.
It's very biased logic.
I think the takeaway lesson is stop writing the ATF all these letters.
Yeah,
that is a good point. Absolutely. I will say, like being in Colorado with our 15-round mag limits to July 1st, 2013, 7 years ago, still in place. Like this, once it happens, like it does not get undone. They don't undo laws. Well, unless you're in California where they clarify pedophile laws, but generally they don't. Right? They don't undo laws.
Have you seen that?
Well,
they're going to try to make pedophilia legal in California. I can't believe it.
No. Like, all right. So yes, but also no. What they really did is they redefined some existing legislation where a 24-year-old and a 13-year-old can have sexual intercourse as long as it's traditional, but if they had or oral, that it was a crime. And they just basically clarified it to where any sexual contact is legal, not just specific types. It's
24
disgusting.
And 13.
Well, that's the ages
that's the
I saw.
Spread, man.
Dude, okay.
I mean, Shawn reaches that spread, but now at the same age, older. What? The distance.
What?
Yeah, 42 and 18.
So
no, but I mean, look, listen. I'm not here to say like 13-year-olds are way too young to have sex with.
Well, that's not the issue. They re-clarified laws. I know that everyone, once again, like everyone wants to freak out about things, and it is disgusting. And I think that the law should be like not a thing. But once again, social media jumping on that they have no idea what they're talking about. Media is the enemy, including us. Don't believe anything we say. We're the enemy.
I'm your friend.
Yeah, believe everything I say.
I'm going to go out on a limb and saying a 24 having sex with a 13-year-old is a crime.
I would agree with you. Yes.
So
wait. Yeah, what if I can explain an era when it wasn't a crime?
Say again.
I don't care about the era.
Oh, because
I seriously have no interest in this conversation. What'd you say, Joel?
I just said half your age plus 7. It will never let you down.
Half your age plus 7.
Yeah, do the math real quick. You're okay.
27. Yeah, I'd be good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're okay.
All right.
28.
Perfect.
Yeah. Woo.
Half
I'm
my
screwed.
age plus 7.
What about just half my age? I'm just good with. That gets me to 23.
When you're 20, that doesn't work so well.
No, but when you're 46, it does.
But yeah,
When you're 46, you don't want to deal with a 23-year-old.
36.
Ugh.
Jeremy, you would be what? 36, 15,
25,
18, plus 7, 25.
23.
No, I like half my age.
Yeah, I think half my age is good. I like half my age minus 4.
So anyway, this Chevron defense, it'll be interesting. This is one of those things that's smarter than me.
But minus 7.
yeah.
This Chevron deference applied instead of the rule of lenity. I know some of those words, just not what they mean in that order. But yeah, I think this will actually be interesting if they can get rid of it, but I don't hold any hope whatsoever.
I don't hold any hope for anything whatsoever.
True
Except
that.
for the Colt. I have hope on them.
Do you? That's good.
Oh, I thought I was going to go like
Did you want the definition of a Chevron difference?
difference between what?
Does it
The
matter?
Chevron. I mean, kind of. So,
Okay, go
Chevron deference or Chevron doctrine is an administrative law principle that compels federal courts to defer to a federal agency's interpretation of an ambiguous or unclear statute that Congress delegated to the agency to administer. So, again, basically, here's the law that Congress made, and the ATF gets to make up whatever law they want that they interpret to be part of that law, even though it might be completely contrary to what the law actually says.
I mean, maybe it does have a chance. Like, that would be cool, because to my brain, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Would they have to return the 12 bump stocks that have been turned in since that was passed?
Well, here's the problem: is I cut my stupid ass bump stocks in half because I didn't want to go to prison or be fined. And if they undo this, I'm going to be so pissed.
Well, that one company turned in 70,000 of them.
Yeah, the company, the manufacturer did, yeah.
Yeah.
Fostech will be real happy if they reverse that.
Man, I will like try to super glue my back together, even though I cut it in the place that the ATF recommended, so it's ruined forever.
Shawn, I think it'd be awesome if you were able to get one and serialize it.
That would
and
be
then,
awesome.
Like register it as an auto sear.
I wonder if anyone's ever done that.
Whatever that would be considered.
I don't know.
Nobody's ever done it because it would.
Milled it, now remill it.
No.
Yeah, why spend all that money when I'll sell you an auto sear for like $20 and a low shelf lower for another 100?
Do you guys?
I mean, do you have them?
Do you have low shelf
lowers?
Are in stock?
Keep watching Mr. Guns and Gear.
Oh.
Like, I already have an M16, but I want to build an M4.
And tell Mr. Gunzinger I said hi.
He doesn't care.
So Jeremy and I are both 0702s.
Yeah, I'm an 0702.
Same.
There's 07 class 2, so like send me.
We can totally hook you out.
Nice. All right.
I'm an 04 with no class.
That is true. Wait, you're an 04?
No.
Okay, I was like, what?
I was like,
what that
I'm
is.
just a regular FFL.
You're an 01.
Isn't that an ammo manufacturer?
I think so.
It's no
No,
6.
that's an 08 is an ammunition manufacturer.
Oh, okay. What the is 04?
Probably Curio and Relic, maybe?
No, that's
it's got to be
03.
a thing. No,
03
Yeah.
is Curie and Relic.
All right. That'll do.
04 is like an 04 is an importer of ancient Enfields.
All you can buy is infields that have been
It's
sported.
really specific. Yeah, it's really weird that they went that way. But
1911s, they've added that up.
he literally picked the one that doesn't exist. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11.
Yeah.
What would why would they skip 4 and 5?
There's no 4 and 5. Maybe they used to exist and don't anymore. Like they got rolled into one.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like,
Curio
1 dealer,
and
2
relics.
pawnbroker, 3 dealer in destructive devices. That's an 09. Yay. Collector, Curio and Relic. That's 03. Manufacturer of ammunition is 6. Manufacturer of firearms is 7. Manufacturer of destructive devices 10. I want that one.
Wait, what was
Same.
What was 8? I thought
8's an importer of firearms, and 11 is an importer of destructive devices.
so. 6 is a manufacturer.
Kind of want an 11, to be honest with you.
I'm happy with an 0702.
All right, let's do this next part.
Oh, can we?
I want to.
Do you?
I'm waiting on you, man. We're all waiting on you.
That almost starts out like Never Gonna Give You Up.
Hack it. I don't know if I'm just crabby or if you are annoying me.
I think we have a show title. Don't have a heart attack.
It's the Rona. I don't know if I'm crabby. Okay. Written down. So Hackett Equipment, the Urban Tac Pack is back in stock. You may have noticed when I was moving back and forth on my longboard that I was wearing that pack, and that's the one that I wear all the time. Probably my favorite pack right now. It's in Ghost Gray, $79.99, but you get 21% off by using coupon code WLS Life. HackettEquipment.com, Urban Tac Pack. It's in stock. Yeah, go check it out, and if you like it, buy it. It's pretty comfortable. I ride it all the time. I took it to Texas, packed all my clothes in it. I carry my drone in it all the time. It's pretty awesome. Just go see what you think, and it's time for reviews. Jeremy, why don't you go ahead and read us some reviews?
All right. 8-year-old mom.
What?
Is that what that says?
I kind of think that at first I was like, Jeremy, and then I looked and I'm like,
it's 8-yo mom.
I don't know that that's better. What's the review?
I saw. Remember those old old timey. They were like not comics, but like men's magazines, and it was always like Manly Man magazine. Always had like that one dude like fighting off like bears and.
Better than beating off a bear.
It was like always like fighting off bears and lions and tigers and like that was the cover art. And there's one where he's got like a club and there's like all these crabs attacking him.
Yes.
And it was like me after I went down on your mom. All these crabs.
All right, what's the review?
All right, that made me think of that. All right. 5 stars. I love the show. Also, it is funny to have Nick on. Because it is like he is never on. I get the gag. Lol.
Wait, I don't get it.
It's not a gag. He's just got intestinal issues.
I don't get it. What does it mean? Like he's never
Say
on?
hi, Nick.
He's probably right now, in fact.
Oh.
Dang, fatal diseases. Next.
Not fatal enough.
Dear Leader by Dodd Dean. 5 stars. This show is like gambling on a fart. You could get one of the following. A Shawn, which is a lot of hot air that just wants to hear itself. A Jerambe, which is super smelly and super loud and makes you feel ashamed. An Aaron, which sounded wet but actually came out dry. A Nick, which is a huge that you never see coming. Or Savage, just a pile of red bloody commie. By the way, if you have a Savage, you should see a doctor.
You know, I must just be crabby. Thank you for the 5-star review. I hate you.
At least you're not wet sounding.
I mean, Jeremy, they pretty much nailed it. Super smelly, super loud.
I will murder you.
Makes you feel ashamed at the end.
Jeremy scream barfs, by the way, if you guys are unaware. I just came downstairs one day and he was screaming into a sink. I had no idea what was going on.
I didn't feel good. I needed to throw up, so I threw up, and
Lovely.
I was better.
You're like, ah!
You got to get it up, man. It's a long way to go.
It's like a giraffe. Wait, did giraffes actually throw up?
Probably.
I don't even know.
I'll tell you what, give them a knife and they'll throw down.
That's the show title, Giraffe Puke.
Do giraffes vomit?
Can a giraffe...
Oh, my God, I don't care.
I kind of want to know. I'm sure everything throws up.
Okay.
Everything throws up.
I kind of want to know too, but
It's like everyone.
Oh, they chew cud, so they technically do.
Oh, okay. Well, very interesting. MedicalGearOutfitters.com is where you can get med kits. Sold a lot of the civilian medical podcast kits lately. And the best discount out there for medical equipment like cat tourniquets, med kits, chest seals, pre-lubed MPAs, which I prefer.
Oh, yeah. Anything pre-lubed is good.
11% off using code WeLikeShooting at MedicalGearOutfitters.com. Well, Joel, do you regret coming on the show?
Not at all. It's a little bit more interesting than I thought I would be. So pretty happy.
That's perfect.
We're happy to have you.
Last one I was on, they constantly yelled at me for cursing, and weren't big on drinking. So
Oh, no.
Did you tell them to off?
Yeah. You're like, okay, well,
You know what happens when I go on podcasts that don't allow swearing? I don't get invited back.
no.
Right, exactly.
Jeremy's been on a bunch of different podcasts once.
True.
And this one coming up on 500 times.
Oh, my God. That's so true.
It
You
is.
know,
I agree. That's what they get. Joel, honestly, so White Label Armory is doing some very cool stuff, and I love the fact that you guys make everything out there pretty much. So
I appreciate you guys having me on. It's good to kind of come out of the shadows of the OEM production that we're in and get a little bit more of a face to it and kind of get the message out about what the industry really is like.
yeah, I think it's very cool. People do need to realize, and one thing I actually thought of a little while ago is I was like, wait a minute, if everybody's out of everything and Joel's responsible for making everything, everything is Joel's fault.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. No, I get told that every day.
I was talking to somebody, and he was like, my anodizer told me to off because he had 100,000 lowers sitting on the floor, and just there were 100,000 of them just sitting there.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have any more room for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Like, okay,
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah, you can send your but it's going to sit in the parking lot for a week until we get to it.
God, it's so insane, man. What a crazy
Post
time.
office.
Joel, where can people find White Label Armory, social media, and buy stuff?
So whitelabelarmory.com is our website, total e-commerce thing there. Instagram is at White Label Armory. Facebook is, if you go there, is White Label Armory, or Facebook / whatever the it is, White Label Armory. I don't know how that works. I hate Facebook. Instagram, that's the way to go. This picture says it all.
All right, sounds great, man. And don't forget, keep an eye out for Mr. Guns and Gear for something special coming from White Label Armory. That should be very. Do you know when that's coming out?
I think like 3-4 weeks, something like that.
All right.
But I mean, you should be watching him all the time, anyways. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah, he truly is. I watch his videos all the time.
Very reasonable. I like it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So go check them out. White Label Armory. Google it. Whatever. Search for it on Instagram. You'll be able to find it. That's going to do it. Join a gun-related advocacy group so that you can learn about banc and Chevron defense and all that. No, I'm kidding. You don't need to know about that, but they do, and they'll take care of it. FPC, GOA, SAF, they will definitely support you. FPC is doing some great work. Matt LaRosier, Adam Kraut, some names you may recognize doing good work over there. And I guarantee that they've probably weighed in on these issues as well. We always give out the suicide prevention line. That number is 1-800-273-8255, 1-800-273-TALK, or you can text the number 741-741. If you need it, use it. Definitely. It's out there. Lots of different ways that you can contact them. I mean, texting, like, that takes nothing. Go use that if you need it. We're live every single week on Mondays and Wednesdays, except for this week where we weren't live Monday because it was Labor Day and Savage screwed up. But we're on demand every single day. Go to Go ahead,
I
Savage.
did not screw up.
Go to WeLikeShooting.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Go to WeLikeShooting.com/show to subscribe. And as we always say, thanks for listening. Get some medical training and
Shoot straight.
shoot straight. Nick killed it. Dang, Nick, that was the first time you've ever done it right.
I was trying to interrupt you, but because of the slight lag, it came out on time.
Well, it worked perfectly. Okay, so show titles: Blind AR-15, Snickers, I Must Be Crabby, Do Giraffes Vomit, It's Joel's Fault. That's all I wrote down.
Oh, go ahead.
Or Joel made this podcast.
I like that. I like that. I must be crabby. That was actually a really good one.
Okay.
Kind of a fan of that one.
All right. Done. All right. And the music fades out. Maybe. I don't know. At this point. Turning down the wrong one. There we go.
They did not like your camera tonight, Shawn.
I didn't like my camera tonight, Aaron.
Yeah.
Did you think that show was worth $1? Help the cast by visiting lovewls.com.